Good evening, speedrunning fans. Good evening, Super Metroid fans. It's it. This is it. We are here, finally, in the championship match, Speedgaming Live 2023. This is your Super Metroid Randomizer Dash in-person championship match. We have two incredible competitors that have clawed their way through this 14-person bracket. On one side, the number 1 seed coming in from the quals, Zeb316. On the other side, the number 3 seed coming in, an incredibly strong runner in their own right. Audraxys is here. We have the two of them squaring off in this best of 3 series. And to lead you through the action, I'm Professor School. I'm joined here in the commentary booth today by DJ Webb. D-Webb, how's it going today? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm excited. This should be a good one. We've had quite the showcase here so far. Some great matches. One of them including yourself and myself. I was on commentary for that. Had a lot of fun. Both of these runners, like you said, top competitors. They both have not lost a game yet so far. So that's going to have to change at some point.
That's right. They have not dropped a match yet. We've actually only had one 3-game set, so we'll see if this one goes the distance or not. It is a best of 3. You do need to win 2 to secure the championship. And we got some really nice trophies to go home with these folks, including their cash prizes.
Yeah.
Can you show us those?
We're in person, and we've got 2 trophies. One of them slightly larger than the other. So our like you said, our competitors, they're playing for some hardware, some cash.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this beautiful. We can get a little look at that beautiful Super Metroid logo with the nice blue background. Excellent prizes as well as some cash prizes lining up. So these folks here, they're playing for honor and glory and pride in the community. They're also playing for some hardware and some cash. We love it. We love to see it. We want more of it, and we're just about to jump into game 1 of this 3-game set. We can talk a little bit about the mode, get people queued up for this. This is it is an area randomizer. It is a boss randomizer. A little bit different. We got bosses shifted instead of shuffled this time. Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so full item shuffle, but we do things called countdown in this in our community. Basically, there's 100 locations, and they're kind of all over the place. So give our runners a little bit more information for the countdown. So we'll get started here in a little bit. You'll be able to see a major count and also an E-tank count. Here we've got 3 majors and 1 E-tank. So make a little bit more strategic decisions as opposed to just going everywhere and figuring things out from there. Like you said, we have a new kind of boss shuffle in this randomizer. The Dash Dev team working very hard and doing some fun stuff for us. So we're calling it bosses shifted. What that means is instead of the traditional boss shuffle where crate unlocks crate, E-tank, wreck ship is unlocked by Fantoon, stuff like that. Wherever the boss is in that location, you're going to unlock whatever's there. So if you go to wreck ship and you fight Dragon, all of a sudden the wreck ship is going to turn on. If you fight Ridley and Crate's lair, the E-tank is available to you. Yeah, and then area randomizer. It's getting a little bit older, but still recent innovation in the Super Metroid Randomizer scene. We have basically, so the map is divided into little areas. All of those names are on the little map tracker on the middle of your screen. Criteria, wreck ship, etc. So there are certain doors. Those are predetermined in the same every seed. They will take you to other areas potentially that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So criteria, normally you can exit criteria, get to Brentstar, get to wreck ship, get to Turing as well. But in these seeds, you could go to Norfair, you could go to Meridia, you could go to Crocomire. Maybe anything could be there. So it makes things things are more different every time as opposed to just going through the same map that we've been doing since '94 for some of our competitors.
That's right. And yeah, and those portals are going to be really important because as you see in the middle of the section of your screen there, some of these areas are hubs that have 5 or 6 different portals. Some of them are dead ends, like Croc or Turian. And some of them just are 2-way portals, and they can sort of connect into each other and make sometimes some really complex or sometimes bottlenecked maps. So here we're getting started. We got 3 and 1. One of our majors is always going to be Morph, of course, here in criteria, and we got kind of an unusual major. You don't see really all that often. Second major pickup was X-Ray, so we'll see if that actually comes into play, whether we get some interesting use of that. Obviously Charge can have some microwave effects. There's also some cute little things you can do some clips with X-Ray, but for now, maybe one of the most important things as far as routing, no power bombs yet, so these runners are going to go up this elevator and explore more of criteria. We're not going to get that meme route check. We'll have to keep an eye on that portal for later on.
Yeah, this is the start that a lot of people don't like, just because, as you said, the portal down here on the left of Morph Ball, it's very convenient if you do it right now. And if you don't do it right now, you really, really hope that you find it, you know, from wherever it connects to. Otherwise, you know, this trek down here, you know, when you're doing it because, you know, you're coming down here to get more fall, you don't think about it. If you have to come back down here again, quite long, and, you know, it can just be really out of the way from where you are on the map. But sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. It is randomizer after all. You know, we are not in control. We are just doing our best to, you know, react to the situations that are presented to us. So that's what our runners do. You know, both of these players, like you said, veterans of the scene. They both played, you know, a lot. They've, you know, developed their own strategies, figured out, you know, what they want to do, how they want to do it, and that is what has brought them here to this juncture, the finals, for the grand prize.
That's right. Well, there's our power bomb pack. So we do have access now to both the left and the right side of criteria. Oftentimes runners will decide to go left here. 5 power bombs not enough really to check the gauntlet location, so I expect these runners to both go to the left, but we'll just have to see what they do.
Yeah, and you got a little bit of optionality. Obviously, you know, to the left, you could choose to go, you know, a little bit back down here in Parlor. There is a item check at the 230 missiles. You're seeing neither runners decided to do that. One of the very, very standard settings that we use in a lot of our tournament randomizers is a suit restriction, which disallows suits, the Varia and Gravity suits, to be placed in criteria. So, you know, we see you'll have one major. We know for a fact it's not one of those two things. And those are two of the most important items that you can get in this game. So that kind of devalues some of these checks. And we already see a little bit difference here. The Gauntlet back scout for Zeb, as well as that is a 1 power bomb net plus. Audra decided to skip that. Coming down here, our first area transition, you can see a bit how those works. Those doors are always flashing. I think all of them are not flashing in vanilla, so that definitely tips you off. And we spot a little bit of a red Brinstar there with only one E-tank, no majors, but only 5 locations in that area. That's a pretty normal to only have, you know, 1 total in there. So we're headed back there because Upper North Fair, despite, you know, the 3 and 2, not really accessible with, you know, 70 energy for our runners.
Yeah, I think it's two tanks to put that in logic to get to Green Bryn and then across to the Croc portal, and that's pretty much the only thing you can do at that point.
Yeah, so Red Brinstar, one of the best areas to find early, especially, you know, without any majors. There's, you know, 4 of the item locations here are pretty free, and then, you know, there's the X-ray location that, you know, requires some energy, maybe some items or, you know, some difficult strats. So it can be pretty easy to get, you know, the items out of there, but there's not a lot. And, you know, on the contrary, portals, there's a lot of those, and it can take you to a lot of different places. And, you know, here we are in Green Brinstar, a very, very valuable place to find here.
Yeah, and 3-2 is pretty healthy. It's not the highest that we've seen by any stretch of the imagination in this tournament so far, but 3-2 is pretty good. Those E-tanks are very, very valuable, especially early when you're talking about the potential to consider things like, you know, the 3 majors that are in the Bubble Mountain area, the hell runs that might take. You want to accumulate those quickly.
Yeah, we just saw one side of the Lower North Fair. That was the front that Ridley mouthed. No majors down there in Lower North Fair. That can be some pretty vital information here early on. But 2 energy tanks, though, that, again, North Fair especially, one of the places where the number of tanks being known to our runners, very, very helpful in potential situations. You know, you may be running through there without the various suit, and, you know, the chances of running into an E-tank are, you know, they're known to a certain degree to you, which can, you know, inform some of your decisions. But yeah, Green Brinstar, you'll love to find it here early. There's a lot of items in here. I don't actually know the exact number, but the good thing about the number of items in here is that, like, they're all pretty, you know, grouped together in a nice way. Versus, you know, some areas it's very much more spread out, and, you know, you got to go a long way to get from one to the other. Here, you know, we got Big Pink. There's 3 items in this room alone, plus, you know, 3. Well, I guess 4 technically, and, you know, some ancillary areas. You just can't accept the waterway.
That's right.
Access.
Well, I think it's roughly 16 checks, and I'd be curious to see because 8 of those checks is on the left side of the map, and Zeb does have a tendency to try to value those denser item locations. Now, with 3 majors still outstanding, I do expect him to make at least these 2 checks here, the slightly faster ones, which is the Spore Spawn and the Wave Gate, and probably to skip Mission Impossible and then go towards that item dense side. I know that with 2 majors, Zeb tends to want to go to that item dense side, those 8 majors, check that portal, and if you have to backtrack, you can check some of those slower checks on the way back out if you think that's important. You already alluded to this. There's a lot of stylistic differences. We'll try to call them out sort of as the match goes on between these two runners. Zeb tends to value some of those dense item locations and skipping some of those checks first. Audra, for example, we saw in the match against Bressingham, really values a little higher some of those hell runs, especially very early on. So we'll see with that Upper Norfair 3, that single chamber portal, does Audra look to collect some E-tanks and maybe sort of gun it straight for those Bubble Mountain checks? We'll just have to see how that plays out. But I think it's really interesting because these two runners are really at the top of the Super Metroid Randomizer scene, and they've gotten there through, I think, philosophically and stylistically, two very different approaches to the game.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and you could hear it. You two interviewed the runners this morning, and there was some talk about picking up supers, whether or not you should do that or not with Ice Beam and Charge Beam alone, and like Zeb was like the pure math of like it saves this much time versus charging the shots of Mother Brain, and Audra was like, well, like that's very much true, the raw numbers, but there's also a non-zero chance that you run into a better beam, and like this wasn't as worth it. So it's like both the time versus the percentage.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear them have that little banter back and forth.
And like you said, like neither of those things are wrong in any way, shape, or form. But it's like like you said, stylistic differences that come across. It's all very interesting. There's a tendency in a lot of competitive outlets to try to solve things, try to find like the one thing that's like this is the best way, and we're just going to do this. As we see a gravity suit over there. Yeah,
I want to call attention to something. Obviously, the gravity is an important one. Now, it's not totally likely that you're going to find 3 majors and 5 checks, but I do think that Zeb sort of appreciates is more favorable to go up and check these 5 items first. And the reason for that is maybe what we might just see right here. We saw the gravity. We have a speed booster. We're down to just the 2 majors. We know that Screw's down there, and Zeb might be hoping that if that extra major shows up, he might be able to skip that Edakun's power bomb, which is a pretty slow check. So I think this is slightly inefficient to go up and come back down, but the temptation of being able to potentially skip those very slow checks is what Zeb is looking to do with this sort of play style here.
Yeah, and it was interesting because, like you said, the little bit slower checks. It was funny because Audra did probably the single slowest one and not the other 2, where Zeb did the 2 kind of slow ones and not the slowest one.
That's right.
And then, like you said,
Well, we saw Audra do that in the last run, too, against Bressingham. And I wonder if that has to do with, well, you're over there checking that missile in front of the portal anyway. It sort of just makes sense from an efficiency standpoint to just, even though it's slow, check Mission Impossible and then just get spit out the bottom.
Yeah, and there was, you saw it on Audra's side because not only did they have 99 max energy, but they were very much not at max, and it was a little dangerous. Had to take it slow, so that's also something that you can factor in at different points in that. We got very fortunate. It's funny because speed's the thing that locks one item by its own, and then we got it here, but it doesn't lock either any of the other majors or an E-tank. So we came in here and we got everything, and we're gonna see. Somehow like almost exactly the same things. Audra has 1 missile up. But yeah, otherwise, same loadout, same information here, and I think the difference is most of the difference in this time is the back of Gauntlet's little peak that Zeb did is very interestingly not looking forward to that. Audra.
There's a deep consideration there from Audra, and the same thing happened on the other side of this door. Do I go through and do I check this? I mean, there's a very good argument to be made that you're going to a location where you have to beat a boss to get into G4. You can save there. I mean, at this point, it's... Oh, boy. I mean, it's a slow Dragon fight. Or no, you have speed now, excuse me. It's actually not that bad. With 2 tanks, you have to be a little bit careful, but you can beat, 75% of the bosses here, and you can then check that front portal and make sure it's not...
Zeb also, he's walking back, and he's actually leaving.
He's actually leaving, yeah.
Had the thought to leave. It's very interesting because there was some talk, and you and Zeb alluded to it perfectly. If you come into like maybe even like a 1 lower, like you're saying, major count, you can like hedge your bets a little bit. Come over here, and if this dead ends, you can come back and like clean things up that way, which didn't even come to pass. But yeah, it's really interesting because like 3/4 that it's like doable. Ridley right now is out of range for even runners of this caliber. So like pretty good chance, and it's 2-4, right? And especially E-Tank Zeb is you heard it earlier this morning if you watched that match. Always thinking about potentially skipping one of the suits. Especially the one we don't have right now, the various suits. So
it's interesting that you point that out because if I'm in this seed, I'm already starting to analyze exactly how I might be able to get through skipping Vari if I don't run into it. I've already got access to Batuun. I've already got gravity. I've got screw attack. If I start building up tanks and supers, I got 15 power bombs if I'm Audra. You might start to consider some of these options already, right? I mean, even something like X-Ray buys you one less power bomb that you need to spend exiting LN with a cute little clip that you can do. So I'm not saying that's the direction that we're going necessarily, but these are the things that these runners are considering right away when they're trying to push, and I'm sure that the two of them are trying to push very hard against each other.
Yeah, and I'm going to add even one more thing on top of that. Like we said, with the countdown giving information, no majors in Lower Norfolk either. And, obviously the best major you could get down there is the gravity suit, which we already have. But, that's also like, you're not worried about charge down there. You're not worried about an extra beam to maybe supplement your damage down there. It's miners and it's tanks. So, that plays a part too. But yeah, we found two led to this West Meridia, which has 3 majors, a very nice count for an area that has it's 3, 2, 2. Like, is it really just 7 items in this area?
I think it's 7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah, like not a lot, and you've got 3 majors. That's very nice. So I think one of the things, and I was considering, I was like, why did maybe one runner make a decision different from the other? Zeb has talked extensively in Area Randall about how much he values map information, and knowing that you're going back to Red Tower, that's a place where you get a lot of map information. So I'm assuming maybe not the whole reason, but that could have been something that's playing a part. And, in most circumstances, you are going to find this from the other side, the wrecked ship that we're in.
Yeah, and that's what you're hoping for. It's just so much faster to see it from the front, right? And maybe potentially then also get there from the front when you can beat all 4 bosses and not take that 25% risk.
Yeah, so
we'll see. We got Plasma so far. The combination of that and the X-Ray is pretty nice. If we found Charge, this could be pretty important for Zeb.
On the other side, when you don't have high jump, the spark kill on Dragon is a little bit harder because your jump height isn't what you're used to, as well as gravity suit works a little bit differently than they maybe are used to from the Barrier Randomizer, just because on that side it's all enemy reduction, no environmental reduction. This one, it's basically like it doesn't have heat reduction, but it works like the Barrier suit otherwise with one suit. That's how both of them basically work. So 50% reduction on everything. So you're taking more damage maybe than you'll be used to on a Dragon fight as well with the sparks. So got to be careful. It was well executed. Definitely not the fastest, most optimal kill you've ever seen, but got the job done.
Okay, so this is good. So Zeb is going to be happy about finding the back of Ellen there. That's going to help with some planning later on, and it's also going to it allows you to know that you have closed that loop. You don't need to worry about down the line if you're going into a potential suitless play. Now you know that your suitless play is not going to bottleneck out the back of some bad area. You don't have to worry about checking that and getting run into Croc and having to save scum that. You can go in and out the back pretty easily. So again, as far as thinking about a potential suitless play, you know that you can go in and out the back here from the top of West Meridia.
And Audra already spiking a very nice movement item, the space jump. Mitigates some of the terribleness of the speed booster that we had without the high jump, but space jump honestly also benefits from the high jump boots. So
oh boy, there's grapple beam.
That's a very nice item.
There's grapple and space jump combined with screw attack. I'm just saying, we're getting a lot of items that are making me as a runner feel like, this is a suitless play. I got to figure out where Ridley is, and if Ridley's not vanilla, maybe I just stop scoping out for Varia at some point.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of difference. We had a tournament recently with Major Minor. This is full, so there's no difference in a location for what item it can be. As we see right here, a skip of the slower attic missile is a blind spark gets a space.
Yeah, Zeb doesn't look happy about that.
Luckily, it won't be equipped. No menu of shame here in the dash randomizer, but obviously you would have rather gotten a better major, especially one that would had any use. And here we've got very much a useful major over here, useful for different reasons. It's just an E-tank, but finding the good things here so far for Audra in a pretty good way. I was maybe potentially expecting you could have both scouted this and the ocean missile beneath, and you could have scouted the portal to know maybe a little bit more of your situation in this wreck ship. But Audra so far I'm not going to say fast and loose because this hasn't been, the most high-flying, just don't do anything here. But, not playing this wreck ship like everything is necessary, right? You're seeing, didn't do the very slow attic missile, did not, go through the bowling cutscene. Getting a few things, and, 3 of the 4 E-tanks found, as well as, a nice space jump. So we're out of here. We're back in Criteria. That's a nice find. It's always nice to clean up these areas that, you know, you're not going to go back to criteria on your own, right? You're going to hope to do it from this side. So
yeah, this is really kind of unfortunate. Zeb getting down here without a good movement item.
and I think that was Croc entry that he found at the Meridian map. Was that right?
It was Croc entry, yeah. And with this kind of health, you know, yeah, this is tough. Now he's going to try to get over to this refill station now instead of coming back up.
I did not spot that he was. I was watching Audra definitely. But
Yeah, and Audra went to the front and came out lava dive.
Yeah, that was a moat. So both of our runners are, funnily enough, converging in Norfair. But as you're going to see,
very different situations though. 5 tanks versus 2, right? This is this didn't quite work out very nicely for Zeb.
Yeah, and like, you know, obviously some portal information and a plasma beam that could be very, very nice. But yeah, they're in the same area. Audra's E-tanks are a lot better, and they have a boss down and, you know, space jump. So, you know, we're not gonna have to do the terrible jump or, you know, some very hard right side wall jumps.
That's right. Well, with speed here, I expect Zeb to just, well, let's see, maybe make the 1 check and bubble him out, and you can't really on 2 energy tanks do a whole heck of a lot of anything.
But yeah,
maybe you grab the E-tank, but I think a reasonable play might just be to go to the left side at this point and check those portals and maybe the high jump items. We'll see what Zeb decides to do in this situation.
Yeah, it's different because there's more items on this side, right? But the left side, again, it's a little bit more densely packed, especially that high jump area. Just, you know, 2 rooms, 3 items, no danger, no heat damage.
Oh, that's nice. Those extra 5 power bombs for Audra now put them square in the place of being able to do a crystal flash. It makes things just a little bit safer. Another super pack.
I said the wall jumps were hard, and I was not lying to you, you know, the good people of Speedgaming, but Zeb making it look easy. That was nicely done.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, Zeb known for some of those harder, you know, the hypo jump and a lot of these more difficult 8 and 9 frame delayed wall jumps. Really, really nicely executed.
And he's going left first, and I'm interested. Obviously, the gravity suit makes this a whole lot safer of an area, but you know, I don't think he saves.
And plasma as well. Oh, that's really big there.
Yeah.
So those 2 E-tanks suddenly change the tone and tenor of this a little bit, because coming in with 2 and not hitting on 1, I feel like I might be wrong. I feel like you're forced to go out to the left. At least that's sort of where my head would be at. Getting those 2 gives you a little bit more flexibility. You have speed. It makes it a lot easier to check the speed item. And this is, we talked about it before. This is the item dense side of Green Bryn. This is of Bubble Mountain. This is the side you want to get spit out on here as opposed to the left side in Upper Norfair. This is where all the dense checks are if you want to try to hit those 3 majors. Things like Ice, for example, and Crumble Shaft, they're awful checks. They're awful checks. And if you're looking for, you know, three majors, this is the side that you want to be doing it from.
Yeah, and you know, they both found, you know, both of the E-tanks. Audra, you know, using the scope of that Bubble Mountain E-tank to not have to do the post-speed farm. That was very nicely done. But
that's actually really huge. Yeah, you see a little nod from Zeb there. Those power bombs again. That's the 3rd pack. Now he can crystal flash. That makes this check, which was a little bit scary, now a little bit more comfortable.
That was exactly what I was about to allude to. You know, he still hasn't taken that Bubble Mountain save, which is, you know, pretty normal to take here. And
yeah, I'm just playing a little bit more on the edge here in this tight matchup. Can't afford those door transitions in the save. Trying to push that off as much as possible.
Yeah, and
these 2 runners going all out here right now.
Yeah, the ability to crystal flash if things go sideways, which, you know, both these runners obviously, you know, extremely talented at the game, as well as, you know, you're pretty comfy moving through here with, you know, the 50% enemy damage reduction, as well as the screw attack to not take damage if you really don't want to. So, you know, he got out of there. He had 4 tanks. He only needed 4 tanks, and he was fine. But
I like this crystal flash play here. You could farm the CAC and actually try to get some, well, I guess you didn't have full supers there, but you could try to potentially farm up and then get to the speed location. It's pretty slow, unfortunately. I like this. This saves a little bit of time, and now with speed, it'll be pretty easy for Zeb to get over to that speed check and only have to farm on the way out.
Yeah, now
Space Jump really paying dividends for Audra, though, here.
Space Jump. With a lot of people say this, if it's your only movement item, you're so happy. If it's the speed, you know, obviously your initial jump is a little bit lower, and, like, you know, the low height, you know, jump makes it a little bit tighter to space jump, you know, before you're hitting the ground and stuff. But this game is all about conservation of momentum, right? And space jump is like, hey, you're jumping at this speed, you want to jump again at that speed? Go ahead. You want to jump again? Go right ahead. We're just going to keep on jumping. As yeah, we talked about it. You know, we like this the dense side of Upper Norfair. What did we get? We got some E-tanks and some miners. None of the majors were over here. So,
well, I will tell you, getting up to 35-25 for supers power bombs and getting up to 7 tanks, I keep harping on this. I don't mean to, but in my brain, when I'm running a seed like this is giving me the opportunity, depending on where Ridley is located, to think about a suitless play. Things are slowly starting to line up in that direction, right? Plasma is still out there. We know it's in a reasonably accessible location. That helps quite a bit between that and Screw Attack and Space Jump. We'll just have to see how this progresses. I mean, for all we know, at the high jump boots location, we run face first into Varia, and that's all for nothing, the stuff I've been talking about. We'll just have to stay tuned and see.
Yeah, and here's a little bit of a difference. We've been talking about, Zeb got into the map information in different ways. So his, current loadout was not really satisfiable to, spend the time, you're probably safe swimming and farming,
Oh dear, wow. And that is really the way that this routed.
Scout this, so
yeah.
this is just going to be beautiful, especially if they can find that plasma beam pretty soon.
Yeah, that's just the way that routed. Zeb having come up from Croc originally, going across the speedway. Audra checking the Croc portal, which they didn't check. They didn't come through that. They came through the lava dive instead, and so it just worked really nicely there to line up that for Audra. It's a little tougher for Zeb. Is he going to go back? Yeah, you just go back and grab this right here.
Yeah, and I had forgotten we had found the grapple beam, so you can just comfortably grapple across that. I was having flashbacks actually to a race that.
Nice first try gate glitch there for Zeb.
Yeah, nice gate glitch. You need that when your health's running low.
Yeah, so just a refill here. Now, doesn't have space jump, but with grapple, it should be just safe with 4 tanks getting across. You can do it with less, but this should be reasonably comfortable.
But, I was worried about a potential. You can short charge on that platform. We do have the speed booster, but
you do. Yeah, you can.
That'll
no, not on
pump the heart.
Not on 4 tanks. Not on 4 tanks. I don't even think the bravest soul would do that.
Oh, the runner on the right side of the screen has definitely done that. Probably with 3, if I'm being honest.
Oh my goodness, really?
SMZ 3. That's a thing that can pop up. So yeah.
Wow. We did see Audra pick up a kind of maybe an unusual item for some folks out there. That was the double jump. That was kind of just in the way and needed to get picked up. Space jump is already there. Double jump is essentially like a single-use version of space jump that resets every time you land on the ground. That was just one of those 7 seconds that you eat because the attempt to try to get over it's almost not even worth it. You might grab it anyway.
That portal is so good for Zeb's map information. He's already done the little, the bottom of Red Tower. Now he's going to pop out at the middle up there and not, you're going to miss space, but like we said, it's 0-1. You're perfectly fine with that. Yeah, I expect, do a little a token check here of this item. A missile. Audra doesn't have that plasma beam, so this charge beam, is not allowing them to, skip that missile comfy free. Obviously, he still could have elected to do it, but, it was right there in front of your face, and you're like, whatever. But, yeah, this is it's going to be interesting because you come into middle of Red Tower, you have a choice, right, up or down, with Audra not having the outstanding bottom information. For Zeb, like I said, great, you can just continue. And you're not so worried about missing Spazer. It's 1 out of 5. It's the E tank you want out of here if you're really even scouting it out. Obviously, Audra with 7, I really don't expect to be checking any of these frankly.
That's right. We'll have to see exactly how the map plays out and how Zeb ends up going about this. But Zeb did end up orphaning the lava dive portal, which is front of wrecked ship information. That's actually how Audra came through. That's kind of important, and we'll see if Zeb can suss this out and route that back in, because it might be a while until Zeb is able to make that play and pick up the items that Audra managed to pick up there.
Yeah, especially, but, you don't want to go through the back. You're hoping to find the front. In the front, it was accessible. But like I was saying at the time, the energy situation at the time made it, a very slow thing for Zeb to do that at the time. And yeah, now you either coming back to Upper Norfair, which you're done with pretty much to do that, or you're going back to Greenburn, which you're also done with.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, I said the map worked out in Red Bryn well for Zeb. On the wreck ship side, firmly did not. So
okay, so I like this play. Audra coming in, just checking those first few items, seeing if they can spike a major, then come up on this longer elevator ride, and then afterwards make a decision about what you want to do.
Yeah,
we got a reserve tank there. We got another super pack.
Everyone's favorite item in this tournament. Oh dang! This that space jump, to jump, shoot, and then especially if you down grab it.
There's Croc 1 and 2 E-tanks. Yeah, I think you definitely do this. You can clear every part of this. You're gonna get 2 more E-tanks out of this. You're gonna be at 9+1, and you could potentially go back into East Meridia after this, and then scope out and see. I think best case scenario, you find that's Ridley, and then you pretty much, I think, may stop checking majors at that point. Maybe just spot checking things for something like high jump or ice.
Yeah, you're right. And we were. I was about to allude
Zeb
to,
going to make the same play Audra just did.
I was about to allude to that. You know, you were talking about it, and
Well,
we could also just find the various.
Like I said, you might just run face first into it at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna see a thing that's true in the dash recall thing, but also in all the areas. So when you kill Croc, you can actually at any time, because you know it's a portal transition, and you know there can be situations where you can pop in here and not really be able to kill the boss comfortably. That door is always open. So Croc will be alive if you ever go back, but we're not going back. We got exactly what we wanted out of there. So yeah, when we went to Wreck Ship, you were like 3 out of 4 bosses you kill. We were coming in here. I was like, well, now it's 2 out of 3, which is a little bit worse odds, but actually it was really 3 out of 3. You got a nice health refill up there by the save. Our supers were really high, so it was even before the Varia, they were killing whatever boss was there. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Zeb's going to feel bad about that check in a second, because I think the little head shake that we got from Zeb there with some of the items he picked up was perhaps considering, all right, well, I'm getting closer to a suitless play, but I don't have enough health, so what am I supposed to do here? Let me scope out where this last tank is. He's going to get to the top. I assume he's going to fight Croc on 1+2 with that same thought in mind. And what's going to, yeah, and so the E-tank is at X-ray, unfortunately, and that's just a little frustrating.
We never saw Spazer.
We didn't. Thank you so much. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to get to the top, and I expect to see Zeb pick up the Varia suit here as well, and then likely make his way into East Meridia as well. That seems like the likely play.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. So obviously, like we said, that Wreck Ship efficiency, it's real isolated at this point. I think there's an outside shot that Zeb, with the Varia suit, wants to clean that up pretty quickly, but, it's going to take him not to where the rest of the game is. So the rest of this map, we need to find the Kraid's lair. We have not spotted that yet. So,
yeah, so it's kind of an interesting balance here, because Audra has both sides of Wreck Ship and the boss dead, plus the items from that location. Zeb might be doing a little less searching for items, gonna find Varia here, so might be less inclined to actually search things out in Wreck Ship. That could potentially work to Zeb's advantage, just going in, killing the boss, and essentially leaving after maybe left supers at the most and save a little bit of time. Zeb also knows where Turian is and the back of LN, which is information that Audra does not have with Zeb having fully cleared West Meridia. It's kind of hard to read out exactly how those things play out in terms of balance between where these two runners are.
So here's the thing. I actually just completed my map. I hadn't located one thing. So deducible is actually that the back of this is Kraid's lair. So both of our runners really need to check that, because this is exactly when you want to do that check. And it also has a major, we've been talking about that. That's a little bit less impactful now that we've got, everything we need. It's interesting here, like you said, that plasma, it was pretty accessible, but Audra's route did not run them by it, and they don't need it. So, I've got some things mixed up, but yeah. No, yours makes sense.
Yeah, I think we have not seen the right side of Criteria yet.
No, Audra definitely did.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
But yeah,
okay.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Kraid's lair is back here.
Oh,
some
okay.
other things may be a little bit off, but yeah. What was I gonna say? If you don't do this now, you're in a bad spot. Just kind of like Zeb's in a little bit of a bad spot because of the lack of Wreck Ship being done so far. But Audra does need to explore the rest of things to find that. Basically just Lower Norfolk and Turian, which it looks like aren't too far apart, frankly. So yeah, we're gonna have to see. Yeah, it's obviously you've got space jump and gravity, so like the movement through here is like fine, and obviously this is a bit of a slower check, kind of similar to how Zeb didn't really want to go through the back of Wreck Ship when he left it. You would rather not have to do this, but at this juncture, especially like I said, with Kraid's lair outstanding, and from Audra's perspective, both Ellen and Turian also outstanding.
All outstanding. So this makes it, yeah. I mean, fortunately, Audra's just going to run right into to what they want here.
Yeah, this is the route is going to work out. Probably better than you could really hope for from Audra's perspective, because you've got a lot outstanding, and this could be Turian, and this is not the best use of your time, even though it's good information. Yeah, like I said, neither of them have the entire map sussed out. It's thanks to the combined knowledge that we can figure all this stuff out. So yeah, like I said, very important to get this out of the way at the time. And yeah, this is looking. I mean, both of the runners, honestly, doing very well this seed. Just pretty much it was one inflection point where Zeb was like, I really just kind of don't want to do this Wreck Ship, and Audra also was like, but decided to, and that's gonna make a huge running.
Yeah, it does seem like it.
And I was alluding to, you know, a much worse charge beam. You can see the damage thanks to the dash implementation of how they've got their info HUD laid out. 450 versus 60, that's huge. But with 5540 ammo, and frankly Zeb's got 6040 in his own right, that is much less impactful. And I also forgot that you know, we locked down that space jump, and you can see on Audra's side there's a little icon up there. It's grayed out, and on Zeb's side it is it's lit up. That's the double jump icon. So Zeb, you know, not as good of a jumping apparatus here, but it helps a lot. People, you know, the double jump allows you to be a little bit creative in your movement. It's nice to, you know, see the strats people implement. And also the supers are really just they're falling in the lap.
We'll see what this one item is. There's a reasonably good chance here that this is either ice or high jump. So we might get I think maybe a 50% chance that it's high jump or ice. We're going to get a good movement item in all likelihood here from Kraid.
Yeah, ice would be great for the Turian also.
And it's something that both of our runners will find here, so we don't have to worry about one of them not getting it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, behind the boss, which doesn't have an item, so we already know where it is. Shout out to Fantoon, though. One of the 4 bosses that does not have an item attached to it.
Yeah, I think that this just works out poorly for Zeb, unfortunately, right? Because Zeb had that information about where Turian and the backside of LN is, but now Zeb has to backtrack all the way to Wrecked Ship to beat that boss, and Audra is going to get that information and be able to act on it immediately for their final boss, go in and out the back of LN, back to back, and Turian is right there in the next portal. This routing, yeah, it works out really well for Audra. Zeb, having routed the way he did, not going in the back of Wrecked Ship, still needs to go back there, and because Turian is on the side that Zeb checked first, it's actually to his disadvantage. Audra will find it second and will be able to just streamline right towards G4.
Yeah, these maps, and you know, I alluded to it at the time. You know, Zeb, he really values getting that information. Sometimes letting it come to you works out better, and we're seeing that. It's no fault of either of the runners. You know, like I said, this is randomizer. Things are random, so they happen as they happen. You have control over what you do, not the you know, outcome of those decisions.
I'll say that's one of those tough plays. I would leave it to better runners than myself to sort of chime in on this. But if I meet the back of Wrecked Ship in that situation, I'm sitting there not really knowing what to do, coming up with 2 or 3 points, talking myself into why I should or shouldn't do it. And maybe that's actually some of the hesitation that we saw. Both of those runners pausing for considerable periods of time. These are not runners that normally are pausing for any reason whatsoever. They are just go all the time. And Zeb has told me multiple times, you got to make your decision, you got to stick with that, and you have to go.
I also want to point out Audra with a little bit of a scuffed Fantoon fight. I forgot Zeb even had he has charged plasma and X-ray, so a 1 round versus maybe a 3 or a 4 round over there on the other side.
Yeah, and to that point, D-Web, actually Zeb will have a much faster Dragon fight in Wrecked Ship because of that X-ray, that microwave combination. But I just don't think that nearly makes up for the routing difference. Yeah, Zeb should be able to suss out at this. Well, there's ice, yeah, and Zeb will find that too, of course.
Yeah, that's a major. It's like you don't need that, right? Like they both know that. They don't need whatever
it's a quality of life improvement, and it's not something that your opponent is going to miss.
It's way too close to you and fast to not do, in my opinion. But
yeah, and you know that there's a 50% chance that it's either that or high jump, so I think you always go to check that.
Yeah, and I mean, frankly, I mean, from Zeb's perspective, especially, wave is like not that helpful because of, you know, I mean, it makes your beam quite substantially more powerful, but you've got so much ammo that's a little bit negligible.
It also helps with baby skit.
Yeah, even wave would have been so good if you know the charge only that Audra had at the time.
Yeah, so Audra, I think, should know at this point that that both the backside of LN and Turian are in West Meridia, and it's just a question of finding them and doing it back to back.
Well, they gotta explore the bottom of Red Tower to find that, right? Or I guess just 2.
Yeah, it's sort of hard, because we have the knowledge of both runners, and we're not tracking them individually. So I sort of lose track a little bit of who has what information, but I don't think it'll be that difficult for Audra to suss that out. And once they're in West Meridia, the seed's just going to finish itself very, very quickly.
Yeah. Like I said, this may end up being I don't because well, honestly, I say that with the full knowledge that there are some races where like my first round of matchup was against Audra. We have a proctor counting us down. I didn't time my run. I'm not sure if they timed their run. So those off-stream matches, we have no idea what those times are potentially. So
and
that we've seen.
Unfortunately for Zeb, there's just not really a good fast way to get to the front of Wrecked Ship. Yeah, there's just not a good way. I mean, you can go to Criteria through the bottom of Red Tower, but that's all the way across one zone. Then you have to go all the way across Criteria. You could also potentially go through Upper Norfair, elevator entry, but you have to go all the way across Upper Norfair then to get to the portal that's next to the ocean portal. Yeah, this is just going to be too far out of the way, and I think the portal knowledge it's just going to line up perfectly for Audra here.
Sometimes the chips falling where they may, or they're very, very convenient for you.
Well, that'll be I think the talking point of that game one is really going to be that moment where they both paused at that back of wrecked ship, and Audra actually waiting inside of the back of wrecked ship, going back through the portal, waiting again, and then going through the extra door transition. And that's the sole difference right now, is that one single routing decision. Both runners playing very well, executing well, making good decisions, playing through with the item set that they have. Yeah, it can come down to that sometimes.
Yeah, and we are the one thing, and you were pointing, you actually said it in a different way than I was going to say it, but I'm going to reiterate. I would call Zeb I would call him a definitive player. He's very definitive in his stances. He's,
very decisive. Very decisive, yeah.
A very, very knowledgeable person about this randomizer, I would say 100%. And, he's got his opinions, and, I would say Audra, probably of the top echelon of the runners, probably the most willing to take a little bit more of a risk. Like, we talked about, those low E-tank hell runs and such that have, paid off more than I think some people would prefer, frankly. But,
That's
the wreck ship, there's a chance that, not only can you not kill that boss at wreck ship, there's that chance of 25%, but there's also the chance that, that portal is also bad. And, like, there's, it's a pretty good strategy if you're at that green burn transition. There's a save right there, one level lower than the reserve area. Now the runner took that, so if you go through all of that, and not only you're not getting a boss kill and you're not getting a good portal, you just wasted instead of wasting a minute or two, you're wasting 5 or 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, so we to jump back into the action for just 1 minute. This is exactly what I was talking about. Sort of two different routes to get there. One was through Upper Norfair, one was cutting all the way across Criteria. This was probably a little faster. Yeah, and Zeb finds the front and is going to be able to go in and out and kill that boss pretty quickly. But you saw Audra immediately found that top of West Meridia, the first portal they check without having to check any items, and Zeb had to full clear this location, finds the back of LN, and there was like a little sort of a wink and a nod. There was a little smile there of confirmation. That's a very, very good portal find. It was the very first one that they sussed out after coming into West Meridia. You go in and out, you check nothing, and the next portal that they're going to find when they go to the bottom of West Meridia, it's Turian.
Yeah, this is we talk about randomizer. If you last location a really important item, it's usually really bad. You're last locating the most important transition, and it was perfect.
The two most important transitions, the back of LN and Turian, right out of that for your fourth boss, after having just 7 or 8 minutes earlier found Varia. I mean, it's I can't overstate it enough just how important that decision was to go into the back of wrecked ship. That's really this race at this point.
And there's a talk area randomization. Usually you are presented with a lot of choices, and you can make a lot of different ones. Sometimes, and we saw it in U versus Ace, you take totally diverging paths and you converge within 30 seconds of each other in one of those races. Here, that convergence is it was not meant to be. It happened in the Upper Norfair for a little bit, but it was a little bit of an uneven convergence with the boss already done, and we're seeing the fruits of that boss location being cleared out when it was for Audra. We are done with boss number 4 as boss number 3 goes down on Zeb's side, and then we are right next to Turian. Yeah,
this is 2 to 3 minutes here to exit the backside of LN. And then maybe with this loadout, both ice and speed, without high jump, maybe like a 7.5 minute Turian. Baby skip is kind of harder, so maybe a little bit closer to 8, depending on how that goes. Yeah, you're talking about maybe a low 50s finish time here for Audra.
Oh, yeah,
and Zeb is going to end up being, we'll see, has to go out the front here, which will be pretty fast, and then has to spend the whatever that is, 6 to 7 minutes to go in and out. So it'll be more like probably in Metroid rooms. Probably won't even be near cutscene, I think.
Yeah, we'll
by the time Audra's finishing, depending on how this Turian plays out. I mean, it's not done until you're on the ship, but certainly Audra fully in the driver's seat right now for this Game 1 matchup. Again, best of 3, right? But Audra in firm control, I would say.
And, you know, you were talking about the potential heart palpitations of the first race of this day. We streamed Audra with a suitless lower Norfair, no plasma, no screw attack. This one is, you know, Varia and screw attack and space jump and, you know, the same amount of V-tanks I think they're running through just about. So,
yeah, it's almost a GT Classic loadout. I mean, this is just, you know, in your sleep when you're talking about the alternative, which is doing it with none of those really good items, you know. This is a cakewalk, and especially when you last locate that back portal, and it's going to lead right into Turian. That feels really good. You got to be feeling very confident if you're Audra at this moment.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be. We may get a high five, or at least, you know, be in the same room at the same time here for our runners, as Audra's pretty close to getting into the wreck ship. Yeah, I think that pre-aqueduct room, they're gonna be in there at the same time, or maybe just maybe an Everest door transition high five. But yeah, one runner heading to the end of the game, and the other, you know, headed to boss number 4. Oh, and yeah, again, you know, double jump, it's great, but it's not the space jump. So
it's
yeah,
not space jump.
We're sparking.
Yep.
So there we are. Our runners pass each other by. As yeah, very, very, very fast time coming up here.
Yeah, and to add sort of the cherry on top, Audra's not even going to have to check the map station portal, because this is just going to lead right into. Or actually, no.
Should have seen that from
would
the other
have
side.
seen it from the other side. Excuse me. Yeah. So this was literally the last portal left that was unchecked.
Yeah. So I'm expecting a pause on this elevator to turn off the screw attack. Not a down back Zeb skipper. I was wrong, but I do expect that at some point. I guess you can do a token speed Zeb skip attempt, but more consistent is the ice Zeb skip. But we'll see what happens. But yeah. Pretty comfy Metroid rooms. Obviously, with the charge beam, you're not, you know, super worried about drops, but you would like to end this on full supers, as unfortunately it gets grabbed. And yeah, with no bombs, very, very smart on the first Metroid. Reload the room.
Yep.
You wanna kill these with ice.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
And it's, yeah, ice beam is it's not, you know, what you're necessarily used to. You know, you like the width of, you know, especially, you know, full beam or even the new route beam. But yeah, jumping on the third attempt, you know, saying I want to freeze this Metroid and not be grabbed by it. So definitely, you know,
little unusual combination. The very narrow hit beam of ice with the speed of the speed of speed, but no high jump. And I think some of the strats that we're used to just don't quite work out as well.
Yeah, and Zeb, you were talking about this. I'm not sure if it was with me or if it was on you know, on stream, but tried to do a speed kill for the first one, didn't get it, switched to supers, and then switched back to the speed kill. It was nicely done. You know, obviously you want to hit your initial strategy, but if you don't, you know, backing it up like that, perfectly fine.
Yeah, and in the end, we see that 90 in the top right for Audra. It's just it's not going to make enough of a difference here. It's going to be a little bit of a slower fight. A lot of these boss fights for Zeb a lot faster, but the map and the routing just worked out so well for Audra in this seed. Little damage down here. There is a baby skip you can do actually with this many tanks, charging up a spark and then letting it go off as the baby grabs you, and then essentially interrupting the baby cutscene. Sasreem actually showed us that for a low % speed skip. It's actually pretty cool. No need to do that here. Damage down. Just get through this cutscene unscathed. You don't risk any sort of soft locks or silliness.
Yeah.
And we'll see just a fast finish here in the next 6 minutes or so for Audra.
Yeah, I also like you'll see. Oh, they're just gonna crystal flash. No, they were a little ahead of themselves. I was gonna say, you know, if you give yourself, you know, the guilt-free trip into this room because you already get a health refill, you can even, you know, shoot a token 5 missiles there at that door.
The guilt-free trip into that room, I love that. That's excellent. I'm gonna have to use that.
I mean, you have to go in that room to refill your health unless you're using more of the resources that you'd rather use on Mother Brain, the crystal flash, and then you have to unload your reserve, which I believe they might have 2 of them. So that's we're not doing all of that. So you could have shot 5 missiles and even, you know, kept, you know, a little bit more damage on Mother Brain, because like we said, they're going to end up, you know, I'm going to subtract basically 36 missiles. So what's that? That's 19 plus 42, which is 6 supers. So we need basically 12 supers worth of damage minus 1 missile, basically, which is what, I guess that's 3,500. Divide that by 90, that's how many charge shots they have to hit. And that's assuming they miss 0 shots and don't get sniped here. So yeah, a decent amount of charge shots are going to be required here. I guess that's probably 39 shots.
Yeah, I mean,
like that.
7+1 with Varia. I mean, it's
not dangerous. It's just a little
slow. Right, exactly. But I love this. Guilt-free?
Guilt-free. You're going in that room. Why not?
Hey, folks, are you craving 5 extra missiles? Did you miss Baby Skip and you're feeling a little bit hangry? Well, I've got an offer for you. We've got an opportunity for guilt-free missiles. Come on down to Turian. We got it for you in the recharge room.
For Turian Town. I'm 1%
Ooh, come on down to Turian Town.
You were
I was right there.
The
oh my goodness, I did. I
goodness.
tripped right at the finish. But you know who didn't trip at the finish, D-Web? Audra. Closing out a lightning fast seed now with the ammo all wasted, already in the red beam phase. And this is something that we saw Audra do earlier in the semifinal matchup against Bress, was this really lovely ice shield strategy that you see usually reserved for low percent ice when you're trying to get through this a little faster. We're going to see quite a few of these, and it's going to speed up this fight quite a bit. This is really lovely use of that special beam attack technology.
In low percent ice, this is a very high level, very time-saving strat that's very difficult. But you have 3 energy tanks and you have 5 max power bombs. What do we have here? Like you said, 7+2.
Yeah.
They were on 30 power bombs, and this is a
we're gonna see the fight end like this. So these are like what 9 or 10 cycles of this, and you're through the fight. I mean, really, really beautifully executed there by Audra.
I was thinking because there was some talk during Rando League where people say if you end the fight with super missiles, you can like cut out some of the firing of the red beam and stuff, and get that phase done faster. But on the other hand, if your plan the whole time was to use some ice shields, you're not doing that when the meatballs and the French fries and the onion rings.
I mean, there's ways too that I've seen, but it's a bit ridiculous, and that's definitely the safest place to do it. Absolutely.
So and I was talking about 35 shots. Ice shields are the one special beam attack that don't do 300 per particle. They only do 90. But if you can do 4 of those in quick succession like that, 35 seems a lot less time consuming. So very well done. Shout outs to Low Ice. We talk about it sometimes. I think you and I were talking about it a little bit. Randomizer, obviously, it's very much its own thing. There's a whole lot of different strategy and stuff. But if you played this game and you've played, a wide swath of the vanilla categories, you can have all those little strategies at your disposal. And that, like we said, I mean, this is the second race in a row, I believe. Some ice shields on Mother Brain to save some time. That's pretty cool. Again, no baby skip attempt. That was a very, very nice damage down. We weren't even on the ground when we got dropped by the baby. But yeah, a little bit closer. Probably, it's hard to read the map and tell time, but probably a little bit closer to the West Meridian than you were anticipating.
Yeah, and I think I also just miscalculated for how much slower the Mother Brain fight was going to be for Audra with all those extra ice shields that were required at the end. That slowed things down a little bit.
Yeah, as well as reloading the first room twice as well.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
We'll definitely be in the Mother Brain fight here, but Audra gonna take this one home pretty comfortably. That meatball, wow, 2 meatballs already. You would prefer to not see. I'm pretty sure especially
this is
with high jump,
this is a really mean Mother Brain. What is going on right here?
Especially with high jump, you don't ever want to see any attacks, right? You just keep her basically stun locked with the head bobbing back. But yeah, getting a little bit better rhythm now.
Yeah, this is laughable RNG. Just a little salt at the end here, and a little head shake. Yeah, from Audra.
Literally laughable.
Yeah.
We bring you a lot of metaphors, but sometimes we're being, 100% true. We have some jokesters of bosses and some, runners who appreciate some comedy.
Yep. Well, Zeb316 did that quick baby skip with the feet off the ground. By the end of this, all of our feet might be off the ground, floating on cloud 9 with this incredible Super Metroid speedrunning action. Let me tell you what, D-Web.
I am ready to take that trip with you and all of the wonderful people behind me. I think, I've been hearing some kind words from people in other communities as well who are, they're appreciating what we're putting on. We had a very, very hype series. Everybody was getting involved. People were taking pictures left and right. People, they're peeking around. If I'm over there on that setup, I'm peeking around because you can see one of the runners' cams or whatever. So, everyone's been enjoying this. We've been, having a blast as well. Both of us competing. These are actually, I got eliminated by Audra. You got eliminated by Zeb. So, we maybe have some stakes in this from that front. Either, one to say, hey, I lost to the champ. Who knows if any of the other you would have beat me, or on the other hand, if you are, the vindictive type, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I got an axe to grind with this one over here, knocking me out of the tournament. Who does he think he is, huh?
Yeah, so, like you said, 51. In pretty much in any full area seed, if you're getting a 51, you are feeling
it's a sick time.
Very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, the routing worked out greatly. And honestly, also really just brilliantly executed by Audra as well. And we've seen that in round after round after round in this tournament so far. And Zeb knew it. Zeb knew it, right?
I mean,
the way that the map worked out,
yeah,
Zeb knew that he had cleared West Meridian. He knew that this was the potential, and that 50-50 went against him.
Yeah. That was a very, very big difference here. And yeah, like, you know, you said a better turning. Definitely, if the run was finished, you know, the credits, they show us how much time you spent. Turning would have been a lot faster for Zeb, but that was, like you said, wasn't going to be enough. And, you know, lower item collection, I'm pretty sure, you know, we only had 4 tanks over here.
Yeah, I mean,
7 on the other side.
Fast seed. Zeb coming in probably would have been about a low 54 here.
Yeah.
Got about 2 minutes left in this seed to the escape. But that's just the way that it works out in this particular instance. Yeah, that real critical moment there was that decision when both runners were hesitating at that back of wrecked ship decision. Audra choosing to go there, Zeb bailing and going back the other way, and it was just the way that those West Meridia portals lined up. Back of LN, right into Turing at the end, and then just it made the difference, despite incredibly fast times from both runners. So that's it, folks. Stay tuned for just a minute. We're going to come hot at you with Game 2 in a moment. These runners are going to take a step around, clear their heads, stretch their legs, and we're going to get some more speedrunning action coming your way. Zeb in the whole 0-1, going to have to push Game 3 here. Audra sort of in the driver's seat, but it ain't over until it's over, folks. You need to get on the ship 2 times to win this one, so we'll be right back at you just in a moment. And welcome back, Speed Gaming fans, Super Metroid fans. We're coming right back at you here. Game 2 of this best of 3 series with Zeb316 versus Audra. Audra pulling out a really incredible performance, just stacking one on top of the other, running through this tournament of 14 talented Super Metroid runners, and Audra just ahead above the best everyone else right now. But Zeb, #1 seed, top dog coming into this tournament, losing his very first match of this entire ordeal. We're going to have to see. You get knocked down, you get back up again. Is this something that Zeb can pull out? I think absolutely, but so far the execution and the RNG has worked in Audra's favor, and so Zeb is going to have to work real hard here to pull one out, absolutely in his capacity. We'll have to see if he can force a Game 3 or if Audra can blank another talented runner. We'll just have to see how that works out. We got 2 trophies sitting to our side. We showed them to you before. This is the hardware that our 2 runners are playing for today, and we're excited to get ready on this second one. We got the seeds loaded up, the runners are queued up and ready to go. Just checking on their control schemes, making sure everything is good. We are just waiting on the countdown to get them going. And just as in Game 1, we're here in the booth live with you in Herndon, Virginia. Beautiful Herndon, Virginia. I'm Professor School. I'm joined by DJ Webb. We're ready to go for Game 2. D-Webb, how you feeling?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say before we talk about, you know, what's going to happen in front of us, you said 14 talented runners, and I'm blushing a little bit because that includes me, the 14th seed, who has some talents. I would claim most of them to be vocal. I am here before you very graciously, but yeah, it's been a fun tournament, a fun event. I've got to, you know, meet a bunch of these people who have been a username in a Twitch box to most people, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The races have been great. The runners have been doing a lot of great stuff, and yeah, like you said, this has been a tour de force a little bit, especially today for Audra. You know, that Game 1 was really, really close. Game 2 for the Breast series, Audra really crushed that seed. Game 1 here against Zeb, Audra really crushed that seed. So it's
really did.
You know, I think I said this actually losers finals in our tournament a little bit back when Zeb went down, you know, 0-1 in the losers finals after, you know, 0-2. I was like, a lesser man like me, you know, their head might be thinking, man, like, how do I beat this person? But you know, a lesser man than Zeb is the comparison. I think he's a very confident guy. He's got a lot of skill, a lot of talent, a lot of theory. So he's not feeling like this is an insurmountable mountaintop.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Ready for the challenge. But yeah, we've got a 3-2 criteria here. I believe it's. Did we have only 2 in the first seed, or no? It was also 3.
4. I think it was 4.
I thought it was also 3 because we got X-ray really early, and then we never found the other one. But I'm not 100% sure.
You're actually probably right. Yeah.
But yeah, and again, an early one, but this time it's
it was 3. It was 3. Yeah.
The double jump has been found very early. We'll see if, I mean, you don't have to deboost here if you don't want to. I kind of expect both of them to, frankly. It's a little bit unwieldy, and, you know, the hitbox can be a little weird. Yeah, Zeb, that's what I expected.
I've tried a couple times to do this with double jump. I always heck it up. I really always do.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Just
finicky.
go with the deboost. This is what you've been doing every single seed. It's fine. You take the damage, you farm up. It's not a problem.
Yeah, and here a bit better start. We got, you know, we got 2 majors, and we got the 2 good minors. We got the power bombs. We got the super missiles. So,
That's right. Yeah, so I do expect to see both of these runners making a check for the meme route portal here. There's always the option to do Billy Mays, obviously, in this situation, but you really expect runners to only be doing that on much, much higher major counts, you know, 5+ or something like that.
And
so
especially with only 3 and also finding 2, like that's
right.
That's a far away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, that was pretty close, but that did hit the all of the power bomb blocks for Audra. And yeah, both of them on full health. A little bit different strat here. Zeb gets the item and then lays the power bomb. Audra power bomb first and then the item, but both of them here getting through unscathed, and we're into Red Tower 0-0. That is certainly something. How early can we get divergence in these seeds, Prof?
I thought we were supposed. I thought Area solved this problem. The whole problem with vanilla map is that one runner decides to go up and one runner decides to go down. This was supposed to be fixed by Area. I'm kidding, of course, folks. But yeah, sort of a funny little moment here. We got runners going up and down Red Tower as an immediate divergence point. So we'll see how this works out. No majors to be found one way or another, but 3 portals down, and maybe that's what was driving Zeb down in that direction.
And on the other end, 3 items up. So maybe that's what drove on. 1-4 there in Upper North Fair. We see that at the tube. It's a nice amount of E-tanks, but it's like if all there is E-tanks, it's like, you know, you can run through there fine if you really need that major, but you also kind of just don't, because yeah, you're going to be finding E-tanks and minors. And yeah, ooh, there's back to criteria there. So interesting to see how we do this. We're going to be getting a whole lot of portal information very quickly. Shout out to our tracker. I was very maligned for not mentioning the very esteemed, highly talented, and very appreciated Jestro Zooks on tracking for this series as we find a Croc 1. 5-5. That would be not the quickest fight anyone's ever seen. So I expect Zeb to go back into criteria from there. So we'll see how these things end up going. You know, if that major's big, and Audrey, you know, with the 10-10 from here, and also, you know, not going to be there for a little bit more than likely. We'll see if that Croc is something that they want to do. Another 3 major West Meridia here. Finding it at you know, it's the top Meridia escape to the bottom Meridia escape. We've did a little bit of a shuffle here, but that's that could be interesting. Obviously, the map station. There's a strat with the right way door to get out of there, but Audra not doing that. Going to get more map information. Here's some map information for you. It went to Green Bryn, but it was the middle. 5-1. What do you think about 5-1 Green Bryn there?
5-1 Green Bryn feels good. I would rather be spit out at the top of Green Bryn with 5 in the item dense area, but still really, really nice.
Oh, and you even get the other side of criteria to clean this up. This is actually so nice, because I'm assuming, and we got double jump right here. We get to see it live in action. Very useful. You are not going to have to do some, you know, 1 or 2 frame CWJ as long as you jump. But Zeb is setting up for the CWJ. Does he remember? I hope he's shaking his head. You've got the double jump there, sir. Please remember that. Don't spend some time here. Uh-oh. It's lit up for you. This is not what we want to see from our runners. Oh, you know what's really funny? As long as they were above the water, there's no way to actually know if that was a CWJ, right?
We could have been a double jump. We got the dust kicked up there, so.
Okay, and I've missed 2 portals now because I'm looking at you and I'm laughing. I'm looking at the wrong runner. I didn't see where that moat went, but Zeb very expectedly going back to Green Bryn. Hopefully our lines that our tracker is putting up there can show us what's going on here, but. Yeah, and Audrey is coming back down, so we'll see those portals that Zeb has gotten. So a little bit of information as well as just a little bit of, you know, ammo up there for Audrey. And then we're going to be coming back, and our runners are going to be, you know, a little bit of a trail from Audrey behind Zeb to what is likely to be a very, very profitable Green Bryn star. But, yeah, this time the other runner's going to have the map information. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out.
That's right.
Ooh, East Meridia front at the top of
That's
Red Tower.
Interesting check here from Audra with no majors.
Another power bomb.
Yeah, maybe just searching for another power bomb pack.
Yeah, if you're considering the idea that Green Bryn can pop up, you know, pretty soon, and you want to, especially if it happens that it's 5 majors, right? Like, you do not want to be in here with 5 power bombs. It's terrible. You need a lot to check a lot of these, especially with no bombs. But we've already got Screw in the tube and then Plasma here, so that's going to lower our count pretty quickly. The other thing about it, this is one of the things, like I said, I've been putting my my hat in the ring as far as playing these myself a little bit. Green Bren, it's one of those areas where, you know, like people say, you know, you've been talking about go to the dense 8 areas first for the majors. I like, especially this early, I kind of want everything here. Like, you know, like if I get, you know, 10 more missiles and 10 more supers because the other person, you know, didn't clear as much, I'm good with that. So we'll see. Audra's health is beeping a little bit, but like we said, this is the trailing a little bit.
We're going to see something here that Zeb didn't do. Zeb did not check this Terminator item as far as I recall.
I don't either. Ooh, if that's a power bomb, it's not.
It is a super. It is helpful.
I mean, even normal bombs would have been huge, but yeah, that's not going to cost Zeb too much. But yeah, I mean, the ammo difference is going to look pretty stark from here because, you know, that's a super they didn't get. I was wondering, we could have maybe seen a power bomb plus there. Shout outs to Maniacal. He is always getting power bomb drops for those pirates, and Audra just did it as well. That's a thing that happens. So yeah.
Okay, so we got that high power bomb lay there from Zeb, so that's indicative of being able to check this portal here. Yep. Yeah, and there's that 5+1. Nice use of the double jump there to get up and into that nice morph there. Very nicely done from Audra. A lot of cute little strats that are being invented now, just with the use of that double jump. Really, really cool stuff that you can use with that single space jump use.
Yeah, we're gonna see if how Zeb's feeling about, you know, like you said, with 3 outstanding last seed. The only thing he didn't check down here, it was Mission Impossible, and we talked about a thing, you know, it's the dangerous one, but we do have screw attack here, so you know, a little bit mitigated. But it looks like no power bomb lay. Actually, that makes a lot more sense in this one because. Well, no, you got screw attack to get across. I was going to say, if you go down and get the item, it's actually going to take both of yours. But because of the screw attack, you're not necessarily worried about the other side of this. You know, you can get through here and just, you know, pop into a fire flea and get it. But yeah, Zeb again, he values the faster checks, especially, you know, it was 5, but it's down to 3. So now with
and did the 2 faster of the ones that you can do. And yeah, again, still going up here, which is sort of the strategy that Zeb likes to employ.
Yeah, this is it's interesting. There's another powerbomb pack. You would have liked that a long time ago. You can see Zeb's head shake. He's like, where was that on the bottom side? I would have liked that sooner, but
still just 1 tank for each of our runners. So just I mean, the screw attack helps quite a bit, but this is almost, you know, 10 minutes in almost, and there's our first E tank. Okay.
I mean, it could have been locked behind Waterway, and that would have been the one item we couldn't get.
Right.
It's still
That's
been,
right.
You know, thugging it out on 99, but yeah, nice to find, and yeah, it. I need to see a double jump from Zeb because you could see how well Audra was making use of that. You know, didn't have any trouble with the mode, just use it. And, you know, even in this room, I have an area, you know, when you're traversing this from this way more often, that room, it's not fun.
It's a pain in the butt. Gigantic
you
pain in the
get hit
butt.
by every enemy because they're positioned for you to be coming from the left.
Yep.
It's just how it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, Audra using that item very nicely. A couple instances where Zeb maybe appears to have just forgotten about it.
Yeah, and you know, you look up there, but you're looking at 2 numbers. You know, the M with the 03 and the E with the 01. That's what you're really looking at. That little red thing, it's like it's probably not really on your mind because, you know, we're used to countdown, but you're not necessarily used to looking for that thing. We'll see again. Funnily enough, what do we have again? Audra not doing Spore Spawner Wavegate and doing this.
Yep.
And you know, once again, this could take a spike hit, which you know, that actually killed me one time when I was in that room, but couldn't take a hit from the big side hopper.
Yeah, you got to be careful with this hopper here. Even with screw attack, you know, things can get funny here. Yeah, there we go. Nicely handled. Okay.
And it's looking pretty likely that this is a major. No, it was a major.
Yeah, so again, second seed in a row. We have early X-ray and Plasma together, just looking for that charge. Audra not able to take advantage of that in the last seed, having beat Dragon early, so we'll see if that comes into play this time.
I also think, based on the knowledge that we have combined, it looks like we're going to get a major here at Edicos, and then we're going to leave one at Waterway, I think. And Audra is taking the time to do this wave gate this time again. That big side hopper will do 80. The hit could have been taken, but screw attack is going to kill that enemy in one. Oh yeah, we got the audio on that side, so that second one was good. Oh, I was wrong.
Yeah, so Zeb now knows that the that there's outstanding majors.
Spacer was here. That's what I didn't see. So yeah, you're not gonna pick up Spacer with Plasma.
That's right.
Most of the time. So yeah, Waterway is a major. I was unaware of that Spacer. Sorry to you all out there.
Yeah, and Zeb knows that he left 2 majors behind on the right side there of Greenbryn.
And you know, the good thing is that one is unattainable, and that the other one that is you know, it's X-Ray, which isn't usually the most impactful item in Super Metroid.
It's not game breaking for Zeb at this point to have skipped that, right? It'll be in the back of his head, sort of itching at him. You know, you're talking about the numbers are staring at that tracker. You know, the 3, the 2, the 1. Zeb's only thinking about one number now, and that's tying this series up 1-1.
That is certainly true. We have a Kraid's lair here. Once again, a boss location here at the elevator, and that's going to be, you know, Zeb's going to clean up that Forgotten Major, you know.
On the way back through, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and
sort of forced to go back
another
through.
E-Tank for our runners, you know, assuming, you know, either it's here or it's a beatable boss. That's and yeah, it's
there's the
here,
E-Tank.
beautiful. Honestly, you know, we had 1+1, I believe, so, you know, we saw some low energy Phantoon kills earlier today, but yeah, you know, you're going to be a lot more comfortable 2 E-Tanks if this ends up being Phantoon. Obviously, both Rig on Ridley out of reach right now, so we're looking for one of the early game bosses here in Kraid's Lair to be beatable, but again, because of, you know, how this has worked out, I actually think there's a really likely chance that our runners end up, so Zeb could end up, you know, going to the top of Red Tower where Audra ended up looking a little bit ago.
Yeah, and then they'll just be dead even in terms of information.
Yeah, but Audra probably, we were talking about it earlier with that 1-0 croc that, you know, was 5-5 ammo. Audra probably does that when they get back to Red Tower.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how those things plays out. But yeah, Vanilla Kraid, we're good to go on this boss. That's beautiful. Again, you know, we talked about it last seed. The wreck ship was here, and it was also in a little bit of another unfortunate out of the way location for Zeb. We do not have to come back to this location ever again.
Yeah, it's a little annoying, slows you down. You know that you have to climb all the way back through Greenburn at some point just to come and do one of these bosses. I mean, one of the benefits of this being something like a Ridley or a Dragon is you can start to plan for that they're not in their vanilla location, and you know that you don't have to worry about, you know, you or your opponent getting it or not getting it because you're both coming to the top of Greenbryn here.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice to just get it out of the way and know that we don't have a slow seed where you have to claw all the way back up here.
For sure, for sure.
So what are these runners doing next? I think, like you said, Zeb is probably going to get to the top of Red Tower. Going to find two portals that he cannot really make much use of yet, which is both Aqueduct and that map station east and west Meridia. And then I guess they're going to be a little bit better on health. It's not great yet, but they have the opportunity to go into that lava dive portal.
Yeah, and we saw single chamber at mode. I'm not sure which one is going to be more convenient for their current placement when they end up.
It might, yeah. I mean, the health is still not great. It's going to be 2+1. It looks like.
Yeah, they both got plenty of ammo for a Crystal Flash. And Zeb, you can see his reserve has some energy in it. Audra's currently doesn't. And yeah, I like this. This is heads up. I'm wondering how they're going to feel. You know, probably you're going to collect that E-Tank, but you're not going to save it from Kraid's Lair because this will be a better save, even though you'd want that E-Tank. So you know, obviously, with it being a beatable boss, it'll be fine either way. But I'm curious to see how we feel. Obviously,
yeah, this is also a save for potential top of West Meridia here.
Yeah, lots of outcomes here where, you know, you could see some stuff down here, and you know, even top of West Meridia, honestly. Well, hold on. Yeah, and Audra's the one who's seen that the very bottom of Meridia actually does come back out.
Oh, that's right.
So you would be finding their ways.
That's right. That's right. Because you wouldn't be checking that portal.
Yeah, just, I mean, you know, in general, saves can be useful in ways that, you know, you may not even be conscious of at the time, but you know, like, hey, there's situations that, you know, maybe I'm thinking of, maybe I'm not, that this could help. But yeah, ooh, and yeah, with the save, this was a possibility as well. Gonna check that item on the way out, and you know, with it being Kraid, is gonna, you know, be fortunate enough to get everything here and not have to worry. But I'm interested. You know, like I've been talking. Obviously, I think that energy tank is gonna get picked up, but we have energy in the reserve for Zeb, but not for Audra, and it's looked like that's probably gonna stay because you'd have to get insane super drops for mini Kraid to be able to drop you a lot of that full health on the way out. So
well, we'll see what Kraid drops after this fight. That'll be a big part of it. We're going to use at least 3 supers here. I can't remember how Audra finishes this fight.
Oh, no, 2, 3.
There you go. Zeb does 4 supers.
Yeah, I know Audra's definitely able to do both of them. So, yeah, we're going to get up to 30 super. Oh, but, well, we got health in it from there. And, yeah, so many supers here. We're going to see where Zeb decides to go. And, again, it's the interesting thing here, you know, we're talking about Upper Norfolk. It's pretty much like the only place this map is really letting us go currently. And, you know, we see the number, right? There are 2 energy tanks here in Criteria that could be, you know, very far away to suss out, but
let's see what this
that
major
would make
is.
things more comfortable. Ooh,
okay,
yeah.
supers and an E-tank.
E-tank, that's a Honestly, that's a decently tempting gauntlet with this current situation. I don't
know. That's a long way around for that extra major.
Yeah, but
Or for that extra E-tank.
The thing about it is, if you wanted to, I mean, you could do a token little, you could do 230 and BT as well. But this is where you're coming back to anyway, so that's the temptation on my.
Yeah, there's just so many checks outstanding in criteria, and I think banking on that one major being in one of them is just it feels just too slow.
I'm not thinking about the major. I'm thinking about the E-tanks. Because like I said, we're our next play is probably to Upper North.
Yeah. Although well.
Oh, and Zeb, he just ran past another opportunity for that croc. That's again. I'm expecting Audra to do that from this juncture, and that could be very, very big. But it could also be a long time to get. Well,
it's tough, right? Because you can't full clear the croc area right now, and the risk is.
Yes, double jump will not get you.
It won't.
The way to pantry.
I don't think it does even with high jump because you can't. You
wouldn't get far enough left for it to work. I don't think.
Actually,
because
hold on.
No, yesterday.
No high jump. Speed. So no high jump. If you do the green gate glitch into the grapple item and you have high jump, I think you can actually make it across with double jump. It might require speed, but in any case, our runners don't have that loadout, and it is a little bit less. It's a little bit less tempting to do it if you can't actually full clear that croc item set, and I expect that's probably impacting Zeb's decision here.
Yeah, for sure. And
get these 2 portals first anyway and figure out where they go.
Audra has just gotten the confirmation that it is in fact a waterway major. And Zeb, I talked about it at the time. With the correct way door, there is a strategy that you can get up West Meridia from there. From where Zeb is, that might be an option he's looking at. Obviously, Main Street being bad would make that a very slow play. And we had a very brief chat with Zeb. He likes to avoid those worst case scenarios, and that would be a time deficit for certain. But it's an option. But let's see what happens here. Audra's gonna get some more creep.
All right, Zeb looking at the ceiling. That token sign of just trying to look into the ether and figure out what comes next. A lot of time playing Area Randomizer feels just like that. You're looking into the ether and wondering, what do I do now?
Yeah. So here, let's see what happens with this croc. A lot of ammo. Yeah.
This could be another.
The waffling.
You know what? I mean, that's the same waffling we saw before the wrecked ship play.
And staying there worked out as well. We're gonna have to see how this goes. But yeah, I mean.
Boy, howdy, D-Web. I don't know. I mean, this is another one of those kind of critical positions. Zeb ran by it. Now coming back down Red Tower here.
I'm expecting that what he wants to do is to find his way into Upper Warfare. Unfortunately, it's the one in here is
that
the
2+1 just still really sucks though.
And from here it's the tube transition, which you kind of, or it's a I've heard that you can still get up there with
You can do it. It's a pretty precise jump.
That reserve was not very full.
Oh my.
We're gonna get all. I mean, you don't really need your ammo right here, but we're gonna get a nice little croc health bomb.
Yeah, yeah. And here's gonna be the croc play from Zeb as well. I mean, it's at this point. You can do that tube jump. It's quite precise, but you can do it and shoot up without high jump pretty easily.
Yeah.
But gosh, okay. So Zeb comes here. The major here is going to be really important to determine what we do next.
Yeah, and I also don't know. I didn't scout out quite if Audra has actually broken that tube yet. If that hasn't happened, that's very much an easier way to get in there. I kind of, if. Obviously you don't know what the portals are, and I'm, speaking with my bird's eye view. But it's if you're really, really forward thinking, there's a nice farm here at Croc. You could refill everything, and that could make you in a much better position, especially because, the current power bombs are only 9, so Crystal Clutch is not currently on the table for Audra. So let's see. And there's a double jump. So for me, that's confirmation Zeb has now remembered. Hopefully it's not thinking in his head. Very astute.
Yeah, I mean, and I was actually sort of suspecting that might be the item here, because now it just opens up. You're kind of limited on what's left to do with this number of E-tanks. There were a couple more out there that you could potentially pick up to make those some of those hell runs in logic. But that just opens up everything, yeah. And you just leave immediately here, and you go straight into Upper Norfair.
Yeah, and like I said, if that tube is unbroken right now, and Audra can hit that jump, which these top runners, they're gonna hit it every time pretty much. That's a very, very big time advantage in this current position. That, you know, obviously with the, you know, a little bit of running back and forth, that was a little bit more inefficient to this area. So there was already a little bit of lead there. But if we have to, you know, again go to moat to get into upper Norfair from Zeb, where Audra could maybe just come in here too, that's another, you know, that's another bit of a help. Oh, and we're the tube is broken because we are gravity jumping here, and success.
Nicely done. That is a very
Beautiful.
precise jump, and really, really excellently executed there by Audra.
We need to hopefully see that from Zeb as well to keep this. You know, it's very close right now for sure. Obviously, like I said, a little bit of a trail from Zeb, but not too much, right? Like a minute tops. So hopefully we can see, you know, that strategy both, you know, attempted and executed successfully pretty quickly here to keep this this type of very, very exciting finals here coming at you. So I believe, yeah, should know that we haven't seen Croc. We've seen single chamber.
We're about to see Croc right here.
This is a new transition, and then we'll see what we're feeling about. You know, it's 1-4, so you know, obviously, you know, if you search and you get, you know, maybe one tank and a little bit more ammo, but you know you don't find the major too quickly, you might not be too upset, but you know, who knows what that major is and how good it is. Ooh, 1-2 lower Norfair, but from that end, it's a bootless dive. I know both of our runners are definitely capable of that strategy, but right now that's maybe not the greatest greatest play anyone's ever done. And again, you know, this is bosses shifted, so Dragon is a tough ask right now. And yeah, Zeb, beautifully done. I didn't even see it, but it was, you know, it had to be first try for him to be here this fast. And another first try gate glitch as well. So yeah.
Yeah, both these runners just operating at the top level right now. Very small decisions separated them into that first seed. About a 2-minute win there for Audra.
Yeah, so we are headed over to Bubble Mine. It looked like Audra had a bit of an idea to maybe, you know, go to that left side. And there's one of those.
Hey, there's an E-tank.
In the same spot as last seed. Yeah, had a thought to maybe, you know, go up there. I'm not sure, you know, again, it's double jump, it's not space jump, so it's probably pretty tight to get over there, but I think you could probably do it if you wanted to just head to Business Center. But
you know, there is a play here that you can make, and I was just about to say it, where you can actually say one is not enough to spend the time in Bubble Mountain. I can just go out the top from this Croc area, go all the way across, which is exactly what Zeb's doing, and we have a little bit of divergence here.
Yeah, and like I said, I assume this is possible, but it's definitely, I mean, like you said, like Zeb didn't quite get that jump, so you definitely want the full run speed. You don't need a wall jump. So yeah, got it nicely done, and yeah, all the tanks are over here. So
I think this is a very interesting play. Zeb sort of took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to bring up the notion of coming up from that Croc portal, going through the Croc escape, coming here and getting the portal information, and probably just checking high jump and bailing here. Ice is really slow. The crumble shaft check is really slow. And we'll see what Zeb decides to do, but it looks like he may be deciding to bail on everything except these 3 checks. That's yet to be seen.
Yeah, and we saw that, you know, obviously Norfair Reserve, those rooms, they have 3 out of those. That's the densest one here and the closest to you. Audra did that and decided to come back over here. We are getting that Cathedral item check. It's a power bomb, and Audra wants it. That 20th one.
Yeah, so Audra not finding the major, and we know that the major is not within these 3 checks. It could be at Ice or Crumble. But I don't know, I just feel like if Zeb's going to make this play, if you're going to make a decision to skip, you're going to make a decision to skip.
Yeah, it's very interesting if Audra's going to see that item that Zeb picked up at Croc Escape. So having both of those middle items out of your way, you're going to know.
Okay, we are getting Ice and Crumble. Maybe hoping to pick up either the E-Tank or the major. It's a little safer, despite still being really slow with both Screw Attack and Varia. Let's see what this is.
With one, I think, because Audra actually opened the high jump door, I think I would have just done that, and then if I don't spike the major, I'm coming to look. But, I mean, obviously, you know, we haven't found charging right. We're already at 40, 45, so frankly, you know, the miners are still good here. Audra's going to get to the 50th super here, and I believe this is a missile.
It is, yep.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and so just like that.
Oh no, it's a super.
Oh,
so
sorry, I thought you meant Crumble. Yeah. And so Audra had picked up a couple earlier, and so we'll move to 55 here.
Yeah. I mean,
so ammo already just not really a concern for our runners anymore.
There's a reserve tank.
Hey, you know, those are extremely useful. Let me tell you what, reserve tanks, that's where it's at in this tournament right now.
If you pick up, you know, 12 reserve tanks in one day, and you are you know, potentially a medal finisher, definitely in the money. I think you got the right and the knowledge and the experience to say those words. I agree. we are.
We're going to see this this Iceless Zeb skip from Zeb. Or Zeb skip, my goodness. Sorry, Ice Escape.
Oh,
didn't quite line it up properly.
Oh, and your play, Audra does it. Just the ice skip. With the, they did. You know, one of them went right side, did some.
Yeah. And they're going to be almost synced coming up the elevator.
Right? Like, you know, and, you know, even got the little, what's that called? Cathedral missile?
Yeah.
And,
that's
know,
right.
Zeb just on the left side.
Audra got a couple extra checks out of it compared to Zeb, but.
Back of east up there, so we spotted both east meridian.
It's always nice to close those loops and not have that hanging over your head after you do the boss.
Yeah, we're gonna get top of west. There's 3 majors here. Audra wants to just kind of do this. And yeah, of course, we know that
you're fine here, so you can go check that Main Street portal, and you can always bail yourself out into Red Tower.
Yeah, I think both of our runners were definitely going to want to get in here and see what's Crab Supers. As Zeb,
there's a reasonably good chance that this is wrecked ship.
Zeb is not continuing. Crab Super or Power Bomb.
What's the plan
let that
here
crab
for
know how
Zeb?
we feel. We cannot, you know, comfortably go in there to the Mama Turtle. There was a very famous or infamous going into that room play and spiking the gravity suit. That's without a save. I don't think if you had a business center save. That's a risk I think I might be taking right now. You know, hey, both high jump and gravity get me out, right? So
yeah, I'm trying to think of what the play is here for Zeb. Yeah, he's just cleaning up these majors, I guess. So here's something that is going to happen for Zeb. I'm assuming if Zeb is going to go back, I thought he was making a full clear here. Maybe it was just trying to efficiency and seeing what those portals were and if they were good following them.
Yeah.
Maybe looking for the front of wrecked ship there at the top of Upper Norfair. I wonder if we actually see a full clear of the Bubble Mountain area here.
It's looking like I'm looking at this map, and obviously, you know, we've got a major outstanding in criteria. We've got a major outstanding here in Upper Norfair. But so we haven't spotted wreck ship. Did you get the lower Norfair count is 1, right?
That's right.
But it feels like, especially because of the idea that you know, pre-aqueduct and the back of Alin, that could be both wreck ships. Actually, it is, right? That's both wreck ship portals. I think high jump or gravity are available to our runners.
It might just be right here in Green Bryn.
You mean?
Excuse me, I keep calling it Green Bryn in Bubble Mountain.
Yeah, it could be Bubble Mountain. Obviously, you know, like you said, no suits here, but high jump is definitely possible. Audra coming back here. I'm interested to see exactly where they want to go.
We do know that wreck ship is sandwiched in between the back of LN and the pre-aqueduct portal.
Yeah. So yeah.
So Audra chasing.
You're looking for a high jump right here, right? Because I mean, we saw that the lower Norfolk portal was the front. Obviously, logically, that requires high jump, and like I said, both of these runners are capable.
I wouldn't be surprised to see gravity at waiver speed.
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, gravity is the other option that's gonna get us through because we need pre-aqueduct or the lava dive to access the wreck ship areas. Here's one, the other tank. We spotted the other one at the back of.
Yeah, maybe Audra looking for high jump or ice, see if that's one of the required items to get through some of those suitless areas, or grapple, for example, to get across.
You were right. Here we go. The rest of Bubble Mountain. We're gonna find out what that.
I think this is really huge. Is there a required item in criteria, or is Zeb gonna spike something really, really huge here? I mean, if it's a beam and Audra finds something good, it tips in one direction. If Zeb spikes a huge movement item or gravity here, this is gonna be really huge for Zeb.
Oh, it's grapple.
Well, I mean
that's really nice because
it gets him
that
across.
That dive
it
is
gets
a lot
him
more
across
tempting right now,
well,
right?
Yeah.
Because Dragon you can now kill, but
that's true.
The issue is
it also gets him across West Meridia into the potentially, actually definitely into wrecked ship.
Yeah, you just don't know if you have to do some nonsense suitless if you get the backside. If you get the front side, you're feeling great. But,
that's right. That's right.
So yeah, I think Audra realized that an enemy was not killed. So yeah, gotta open this door, and then assuming we're gonna check this item, it would be strange to come here and not do so. So.
Well,
the speed booster has been found.
Big movement item there.
And you are turn around, and I think Green Bryn's pretty close if you go back to meme route. Do you turn around or do you go up?
It's a good question because that's the first major that I think of that was left over there. We know that there was a major left behind at Waterway.
And I think
is that the answer?
It has to be. No. Because like you said, if it's pre-aqueduct to front of wreck ship, that grapple unlocks it.
There's still, by my count, 3 majors. No, I'm sorry.
No, that's what I have 3 majors. No, but I don't know. There was one in Croc, so there's 2 majors.
There's 2 majors outstanding, and they're in wrecked ship. So the answer could be in wrecked ship, and grapple opens that up by swinging across.
Audra does not have the capability to do anything other than a stored spike suit to be able to do that without the grapple.
That's
so
right.
That's
so
the answer.
God, boy howdy, is it grapple into wrecked ship, or is it speed into waterway?
Yeah, we're about to find out. Oh, and Kago is Green Hills, so that's why we did not turn around. This is going to be right at waterway. This is a crucial standpoint.
Folks,
and
it is.
They're both going right to where we wanted to see.
Yeah, folks, this is really a crucial moment. You can see as some of the other races close out, we are filling in the seats behind us. It's about to be standing room only here at the Super Metroid Speedgaming Live Finals. Audra up 1-0, trying to close this out to zip. A lot is going to hinge on these two runners finding the areas that they're looking for with the majors that they unlocked almost at exactly the same time. Audra's going to find it just a little early before this transition. Is this the front of wrecked ship? What is this item? It's ice.
Ooh, so
it's not the suit.
So this is the answer.
I think Zeb has the answer.
I think this has to be the front of wrecked ship.
I think it has to be the front of wrecked. Well, no, I guess ice could get you through the back, right?
No, logically it's high jumper gravity.
Is it okay? Okay. I've learned so much.
I was wrong.
That's the back?
That was the back, and it was
Oh, my goodness.
What item did we not get that's available somewhere, question mark? I'm confused. I'm straight up confused. I do not know what it is that we have not done. This is because like I said, so bootless lava dive, it is not in logic. Grappling across there is in logic, but it's the back. The one major, you can see there's a major left here, but it's a spacer that we both looked at. So what do we do? I do not believe. You don't have exit logic in your randomizer, do you? Exit logic? Like go into an area you can't get out of unless you get an item there. Exit logic, does that exist in this randomizer? I have just gotten confirmation from the rando devs behind me that, in fact, exit logic is in this randomizer. So, to one area from another and getting back out. So, I guess maybe gravity or high jump could be at Mama Turtle. Otherwise, I legitimately do not know what the answer is.
Well,
Audra's coming back and is going to find the grapple. And is frankly going to be just as confused as I am, I think, to see what on earth is
and did Zeb just skip Mama Turtle entirely?
Yeah, because you can't.
Because you can't get out. You're not getting out. You're not getting out. You're not getting out. Yeah. Wow. What a seed.
What a seed indeed. Yeah. Picking up that E-tank. There's gonna be some head scratching.
What a seed
here.
Indeed. It is a bit of a head scratcher. This is a thinker, folks.
What are we gonna do here?
Both of our runners have almost the same amount of knowledge right now. The real difference, Audra found speed to get ice, which could be pretty huge right now. I'm not sure if Zeb makes his way back into that check for speed. That's regardless of the fact that neither one of our runners have the answer yet. That ice and speed is looking really, really good for Audra here in this game too.
Yeah, those are our two Zeb skip items. So if nothing else, like at the end of the game, you're gonna be happy to have those. And yeah, we're gonna see the grapple. Yeah, I expect when Zeb found the grapple, he went right across, and Audra's gonna get across a much quicker, right, with that speed booster. Until the longer Audra's moving around with the speed booster, the better. But
is Zeb just circling all the way around here now, knowing? Does Zeb know, or does Zeb go to criteria here?
I have no. I mean, I had to turn around and ask the people who made the very randomizer. So if like I said, I'm not the greatest player, not the most experienced player, but I consider myself very knowledgeable, and I didn't know we got a reverse speed spark. How often do you see that? Beautiful.
Yeah, you see Zeb sort of shaking his head, shrugging his shoulders. This is difficult.
Yeah, it looks like, and you know what? And the thing about it is, because like Audra's gonna be put in a position where like if you don't know, like
yeah. So here it is. The one thing that Audra has done that Zeb hasn't. And I think I spoke too soon when I said I wasn't sure if Zeb would make his way back in. This is the most logical thing for Zeb to do, is to believe that the answer is contained within the one major remaining in criteria, that was required for some other aspect.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So I was thinking...
But it wasn't high jump.
Right, so... And, we've been talking about, logically trying to figure out logic. Obviously, both, I said it at the time, both these players could just subvert that, do the bootless dive. You're going to come in the front of wreck ship and then just, kind of subvert all that. Hopefully, the other of high jump or gravity is like in wreck ship and you just kind of, skip the other one and you're fine. That's totally a possibility. As Zeb, unfortunately, well, no, Audra did Billy Mace too, so this isn't unfortunate. This is fine. As well as, we're getting one step closer to that ammo go mode. But yeah, I was thinking that if you're going across to where that wreck ship portal is, there's a save there, and that's going to be pretty good for you. But Audra electing to take this save, so there's another more opportunities to fall down to that potential Mama Turtle area, and if somehow the answer isn't there, we're gonna live to tell the tale and not be walked back to a much less recent save. But yeah, this one's a doozy. We're gonna see.
Yeah, so here you go. Audra going to use this grapple now, going into this crate mouth portal, going to swing across, going to find the back of wrecked ship.
I mean, and frankly,
and then Zeb's going to go up, find speed, and then presumably go to waterway immediately.
Honestly, maybe they just do the wreck ship that they're there, right? Because it's like it's weird. I'm surprised we're not. I was about to say we're gonna have to.
Didn't have grapple out. A little bit annoying here, but you can just grapple jump up.
Oh, and actually,
okay,
that was not the first thought on their mind. And how did they both do the same thing? You got to kill the enemies. They both forgot. That's kind of funny. Because yeah, you did not come back this way. You left the meme room. So yeah, actually, the play was to save scum these items first before using that grapple to check the.
Yeah, this is pretty huge because I think what this is going to do is this speed booster is going to send Zeb into Green Bryn.
And Audra's been there.
Yeah, we're about to figure out something here, I think.
Charge beam.
Well,
there's another item in this room.
There is another item in this room.
And that's
there's 3 majors
Charge
outstanding.
Ice Plasma was great, but we had 40-55. But you're not going to turn down. You never look a gift horse in the mouth. I think that's the phrase.
That's the phrase.
So you're gonna take what's been given to you. So yeah.
Hold on to your butts, folks. We're about to get some information. There's the high jump boots.
Yeah, that is seemingly what this seed is.
And that gets you into the back of wrecked ship.
Yeah, and it also allows you to literally get out of where you currently are.
Yep.
With the high jump boots, you are very much better. So yeah, and barely any speedless, high jumpless speed movement. I'm sure you got some choice words about that pack for our runners. But yeah, we can this has worked out well that Audra can get back up if they so desire to check that portal. And that doesn't have to be the answer, right? Because now we have high jump, it could be in lower Norfair, but you're closer to here, so yeah, that's what I expect. We're gonna maybe see some crab climbing here. This is a rare treat. Did not shoot that super quickly enough, as you saw the crab went all it fell down, but it kept going on its merry way. So yeah, you gotta do that, and then get this grapple out.
Yeah, nicely done there.
No full crab climb. I have seen a double spring ball Everest from this runner on our right, but a full crab climb in a rando, that's a little bit silly and slow and long and a bunch of other words that you would rather not be doing in a race where the goal is speed.
Yeah, so speaking of speed has sent Zeb, and you can see this confused look on his face. He's trying to suss it all out. Is he thinking about exit logic now? Is he thinking about the Mama Turtle check? I mean, the issue is, even if he figures that out immediately, Audra's in the back of wrecked ship with everything that they need, and that's going to funnel right into the back of LN.
Yeah, so whether the answer is here or in lower Norfair, you're going to get it. I mean, I guess if you went to lower Norfair and the answer is there, you maybe don't clear attic, but frankly, there's spooky missiles, which are available right away. There's the ocean, that's available right away. And then there's left and right sandpit pretty quickly. Plus, if this isn't Fantoon, there's also an item behind the boss, right? So it'd be the funny option, right? The funny option, quote unquote, is that this is Dragon. And then it doesn't matter because you're not searching the rest, because the only thing you need, Gravity would be much better than Spring Ball. Both of those are essentially go mode for both of our runners. But if Dragon's the boss here, you're going to kill it, and you'd be like, hey, guess Gravity's down here in lower Norfair because you, Dragon, cannot hide the Gravity.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I think, again, just the way that this routed and when the information was discovered just works out a lot better for Audra.
I'm going to give a shout-out to Quick 10 Draw in chat, who asked, how many majors in East Meridia? That was the thing that had slipped my mind. There's a suitless item available in East Meridia, Botswana E-Tank, and there is one major there. So that is option number 3 for our Gravity Suit. But again, if Gravity Suit's there, you're going to stumble into it whether you want to or not.
That's right. That's right.
It's just, if you full or partly clear other things, you would have obviously rather hit that first. But that's I think if that happens and you've done the mostly clearing, I think you're feeling pretty safe that your opponent didn't beeline that as some well, I think one of our runners would be pretty confident the other didn't gigabrain that. I think the other it would be a glimmer, it would be a thought in the back of the mind. But yeah, that's a risk. And we know for a fact that we can come into both of these areas, wreck ship, lower Norfair. We're going to go in there, we're going to kill the boss, we're going to come out. We got Ridley here, so Gravity Suit very much an option to be back here. So
this is just too smart for me. I don't know. This is too gigabrain for me. What really made the difference in this routing? Gosh, was it?
It was I mean,
it wasn't up versus down.
It was
red
leaving,
tower.
it was going down West Meridia early. Zeb backed out again.
That's right.
After backing out.
That's right. He was at the top of West Meridia. He had the option to go down and make that trip through first, so that the second trip through could be used the way that Audra used it.
Yeah, having grapple
with that save and then come
and
through with grapple.
Maybe even crazy. And it's funny. I said it at the time. I was like, if you had a save, maybe you could have just risked it in there. Apparently, it was a risk, but it was also the logical answer.
And actually, Zeb came through and grappled across, and with a save could have gone down first. Right?
Yeah. There's a save when you grapple across, and we have it. The divergence.
But you know what? The information that Zeb didn't have at that moment
was that it pretty much had to be the answer.
Zeb didn't have the information that Audra did at that point, which is that it was speed into ice at Criteria.
And also, maybe, I'm not sure how much, didn't have the Main Street Turian knowledge as well. So, that's a little bit. Well, I think, no, you don't, because you don't even know at the time, if you haven't seen Main Street Turian, you don't know that wreck ship doesn't deaden into Turian. And that isn't just the other side of Lower Norfair down there, which, frankly, for my thinking, Cap, seems like the more likely option from exactly that standpoint. If you roll a seed that to this point is exactly the same, I think most times it's the back of Lower Norfair down there at Main Street. But now what we have here, and I said we had divergence. We also had the divergence of not collecting high jump. Apparently, while we were looking at a Ridley fight and talking about the silliness and the craziness that's gone on, Zeb pulled off a high jump with Lava Dive, and is down here in Lower Norfair. And with double jump, worst room, it wasn't that bad. Another E-Tank here.
This is a 50-50 shot if Dragon is in LN, correct?
Correct. Dragon could be vanilla or Dragon could be down there.
Gravity could still be here in LN.
Well, yeah, and the thing about LN is that the boss being, shuffled or shifted, there's no door that unlocks from the boss. So, yeah, very much possible that LN has the gravity suit. Very much possible as Audra. I mean, Audra...
I'm trying to figure out how much it hurts Zeb to not have that high jump. This is this is difficult. We need to phone a friend right now. I need my rando experts on the line.
I don't think it's good that he doesn't have the high jump. I don't know. Yeah, and I was curious because Audra, not the most interested in clearing this wreck ship. Obviously, we do have high jump speed. Every item is available to us, but it's not the fastest thing. And it went in here to Lower Norfair. I think probably should have known that, but and then peeped back in, looked at the maze missile, and then eventually like, hey, let's just do Lower Norfair. Unfortunately, like I said, gravity or spring ball, that's go mode. If it's Dragon vanilla, you can get out of Precious. If it's Fantoon, you are. Did you watch Losers Top 8 qualifier during the summer tournament, Audra versus Breast? Did you watch that series? Do you remember Game 1? Well, Gravity's here and all my waffling is pointless. Game 1, there was an opportunity where, Dragon wasn't vanilla, and it was like, well, you can skip Dragon in multiple ways. How Audra did it was in that room, store Spike Suit. If they were thinking that far ahead, that was an opportunity as well. But yeah, Gravity Suit there in jail. Not clearing the wreck ship, paying off its Fantoon here.
Yeah, so let's think about this. Zeb gets this going out the back and goes straight into the front of wrecked ship. And then from there is going to route preferably into the front of East Meridia, but is going to be doing it without high jump. He's probably never even going to make that high jump check at that point.
Yeah, I very much doubt it. I mean, he's got, because he doesn't have the charge, but he's got 50-50, so like.
I think at that point, it's actually faster rather than backtailing all the way across and doing reverse acid dive. Zeb's going to go in the front, is going to do that boss, is going to go out the back of wrecked ship into West Meridia, and then is going to use West Meridia
to get to East Meridia. I'm trying to figure out how the best to get. So Aqueduct is
right. Go down Map Station, which is right next to front East Meridia. Yeah. This not having a high jump is going to be a movement deficit for Zeb, and it's really hard for me to estimate this, but I think the routing may work out a little bit more in Zeb's favor here.
I mean, I think because of how much better that route is, I think Audra may actually, the best option may actually be to backtrack, because we're front of LN is
yeah, I guess it makes sense to backtrack for Audra as well.
Front of LN is Croc entry. Does Croc entry also get you to? I mean, I would assume there's a red tower to. Yeah, there is a red tower to. No, hold on. Is there a red tower to Norfair transition? Yes, Lava Dive to Tube if you go out the front.
Boy, I don't know. I need to phone a friend. This is too close to call now,
yeah,
folks.
Croc entry to Lava Dive gets you to Tube, and that's red tower. So I think you can maybe go either way, and because it's only through one area, maybe you do the reverse. Again, this is one of the things that is I'm pretty good at, a lot of, the knowledge and a few other things. But as far as, what route is faster and like from, what positions and what that, I think I'm not that good at it, but I also think it's really, really hard.
It's hard to imagine that high jump is just simply not going to pay huge dividends, speeding up a lot of the remainder of this game, including boss fights, the escape itself.
Yeah. Like you're talking about, the item and movement difference. I'm thinking, obviously this is it's 2 bosses to 2, but it's quickly going to be 3 versus 2, and they're going to converge again in East Meridia. So who gets there first? And if Zeb does get there first, can Audra make that time up? I'm not sure. Also, again, with the charge, Audra doesn't literally have to pick up anything else, as well as not microwaving this boss. Again, this has been a hard one, so the heads are maybe not operating at maximum and optimal capacity, but yeah, we have a dead Phantoon here, but yeah, we're gonna have to see. I was just gonna say Zeb still has to pick up a little bit of ammo. That was the finish I thought, where Audra can look at 0 more items.
That's true. Totally fine. That's true.
So yeah, let's see how this goes. Yeah, you're seeing it right now. We have double jump, not space jump, and then we have speed, no hot jump, and then we're gonna see gravity here. Zeb's gonna. You can
nice
see that.
Little eye roll from Zeb.
He's like, on the one hand, I made the right play. He's like, on the other hand, I made it, 20 minutes later than you potentially could have. It was way riskier at that point, right? Because you have no idea where portals go and how things look at that point. But high
nice
jump
job avoiding that E-tank there.
High jump and Slava dive was on the table, for quite a while, and you full clear bubble mountain for that grapple, and then you looked at a portal, and then you came back, and then you did the speed in the ice, where you could have you could have just come here. Obviously you're pricing yourself into a crystal flash clip and a lack of Zeb skip a lot in that route, but you're doing a lot less. So that's probably one of the things on Zeb's mind is, it looks to my eyes like, literally, even if Audra just ran back through to let the route I did do what Zeb did, I think the boss time would put them ahead anyway. So
there's that X-ray clip from Audra, nicely done.
We were talking about that a little bit ago in the press room, but it looks like to me once again.
Zeb's gonna get out first. Still has to fight Ridley.
Yeah, and it looks
It'll be the good news for Zeb is that despite not having charged, the super count for Zeb is very good.
And as long as the supers come, he could do with 1 of each, and he will be fine. But we saw an E-tank at Ocean, and I don't know how much left and right super, but yeah. Like
interesting. So Audra going out the front to Upper Norfair then can go across to the tube, and then we'll go up Red Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and again, like, we saw E-tank in the convenient location. I don't know about left super, which is the other convenient location. I don't know if we saw behind Ridley. Audra didn't. Audra did have reason because it's still looking for gravity, but so probably also looked at maybe left and right super.
Yeah.
I didn't quite see those because I'm looking back and forth both corners doing some plays, but.
Yeah, so folks, it's a little hard. There's all those colors in the middle of your map there, but if you're trying to read that, Audra is going to go out the front of LN here, going to get spit out into the Croc entry portal, going to go across to the lava dive portal, get spit out at tube in Red Tower, and then go to the top of Red Tower for the front of East Meridia for their final boss.
It's spooky. All the E-tanks were very convenient when we didn't want them.
When we didn't want them, yeah. Yeah, and Zeb obviously just looking for ammo at this point. Going to kill the boss. I'm assuming not going to go back across LN. You're going to go out the back through West Meridia, and then down over to Map Station and get yourself over.
So probably minute or 2 lead. That's the
plus high jump boots. I think this again just put Audra squarely in the driver's seat. It might be about the same difference in finish, roughly.
Something like that, but yeah, again, because both runners have hesitated multiple times and multiple teams are, like Zeb, there was no reason to hesitate the first time at Clark, like it was 5-5, that's a bad fight. No bones, no skin off your back on that one, but eventually, that was some routing inefficiency. You have to come all the way back to do that. Obviously, it was you needed that, right? And then, that East Meridia, or not East Meridia, the back of wreck ship there, some hesitation.
Yep.
It's always, it's weird, right? Because you're not sure what's really going on. You think you need high jump or gravity for there. You think you need high jump or gravity for where high jump was, quite frankly. So, it's hard, and, a little bit of routing inefficiency, a little bit of stuff, and the bubble mountain, like the West Meridia, that was some more hesitation, and waffling at hard decisions.
Yeah.
Like, they're not, you know, this is the easy decision and I'm going to, you know, make the right one or whatever. They're like, this is hard now. What should I do? So yeah, here we are at the elevator.
And actually, as you pointed out, Zeb still needs to make a couple ammo checks. I mean, they're all along the way in East Meridia, and is likely to just run into the ammo that he needs. Already on 5550, I expect that it shouldn't take that long. Yeah, this one left supers check here for a missile pack, and we'll, you know, likely to run into a super pack. I would think somewhere in one of the fast checks.
If Zeb doesn't run into a super from the rest of the seed, I think you say some choice words to someone. Maybe it's the seed. Maybe it's the seed roller. Maybe it's one of the devs here. You got options.
This
for
is,
those words
you know, this might be more than 2 minutes. This might be like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
All this 51 flat entering East Meridia for Audra. Doesn't need to make any more checks, and Zeb still needs to make his way all the way across wrecked ship through West Meridia.
And we are remembering that we can microwave a boss, so a little bit of a hiccup there with Fantoon.
The high jump movement advantage is going to speed up escape. Yeah, and unfortunately Zeb still has to make these checks for ammo.
And I feel like, and you know, if you're piecing together this logic that's a little iffy to you, reserve tank, you're probably pretty sure that you're not going to find high jump here, but you know, that will obviously, you know, with that outstanding, you would want that for sure. You're going to get a full halfie here. The down grab was good, but I think there was a little bit of hesitation on one of those wall jumps, but yeah, we got it.
Yeah, nice full halfie. Another thing that Zeb's not going to be able to pull off here.
Yeah, that, oh my goodness. Full halfie versus, you know, the little like mock ball D-boost wall jump. That's probably like a 20-second room difference, something like that, isn't it?
I think this is going to keep adding up. It's hard in the moment here in the comms booth to sort of piece it all together, and I'm sure there's smarter folks out there than myself that can sort of see it already as it's happening. But it's just becoming more and more apparent just how the routing sort of worked out a little better for Audra, and then that high jump is going to continue to pay dividends throughout the course of East Meridia in a lot of different ways, and then in the escape as well. Is going to you know, put baby skip on the table here for Audra. There's a lot of different ways that this is going to continue to pay dividends, and we might get. I mean, Zeb will be in Turian for sure, but I think it's starting to look late early.
Spike suit.
Yeah, very
it's
nicely
useful because
done.
we're in East Meridia.
Well,
I was also going to say we have grapple, so it'll be a pretty quick, as well as speed, pretty quick, you know, Dragon kill. But we did get a 1-round microwave, so that's also speedy. So yeah, and I was watching some SMZ3. MM2 was having a little bit of issue. That jump in that room without high jump, Zeb's gonna have to do that too. So you talked about it. Those delayed wall jumps, those are his bread and butter. So I don't expect a lot of trouble there, but you got to do that too. Yeah, it's a commanding position as Zeb is 6550 is just barely. He needs one more missile would put him at the door refill minimum that we usually talk about. 60-40 equivalent. Usually, you know, you can do a lot of math. There's, you know, you can add missiles and 3 times the supers and get a number. I think that's pretty much how Audra likes to do the ammo math. You can do Tracy. She likes to do, you know, start at 40-60 and for every super you subtract, you add 15 missiles. That's another way to do it. But yeah. He is not quite there yet. I think if you broke the glass and, you know, killed all the Zebs, I think this is actually enough. But you don't want to do that.
No.
Especially in the finals against an opponent who, you know, we were talking about this. I said I looked up a little bit of the history between these runners. Right? They played at 3 events before this one. They played in Rando League Season 2 semifinals of that tournament. Audra 2-0 Zeb on the way to a tournament victory. They played later that year, I think it was SMRAT 2020. Winners finals, grand finals, and grand finals reset they played in that event. 12 games, a 6-6 split. And then the next year in 2021, which was their last matchup, it's actually been about 2.5 years. They were in the semifinals once again. It was a team of it, obviously, but semifinals of that. 12-second victory for Audra in settings. I think it was MM area boss, but I'm not 100% sure. The way that worked out they were the gravity suit matchup. You just got to choose the mode between the runners. Like one picked one, and then you picked the other, and then you went back. So yeah, that one was really close, obviously. But oh goodness. No bombs again, so yeah, reloading this room. Audra, yeah, not happy about this happening again. Again, like in the wave plasma shot, it's like so thin. It's a little bit weird. There's a lot of quirks about how beams work and, you know, hitbox and stuff. But yeah, Audra did have a lead going into this, especially, you know, I talked about the SMRAT tournament. Very, very different tournament as well as Logic, you know, what we normally play. You know, there's not a lot of hard tricks in Logic. It was full. It was no countdown, a lot of weird stuff. So in the harder tournament settings, it's 4-0 for Audra right now, and it's looking to be 5-0 for, you know, someone who, you know, very, 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 very good at this randomizer. It's an impressive record. It was only 2 years ago when Audra had an undefeated record against Kip as well before Kip finally took him down. So.
Yeah, really an incredible tournament performance. Not going to take a loss, even in a single game, let alone a match. Really excellent execution, showing off a lot of skill in a lot of different ways. I still keep going back to that very difficult Suitless LN play against Bressingham in the semifinals, just earlier today, actually.
Yeah, 4 seeds played today, and those middle 2 absolutely crushed them. This one a lot harder. Like, how do you crush this seed? I think you go high jump with lava dive a whole lot earlier, and you do some crazy risks, and it works out. As we unfortunately do not see a baby skip, but played really well. I'm maybe gonna make some of our better runners a little bit upset. Just how well they played today. That was my first round matchup, and I was in Turian, me the 14th seed, when I was told the race was over. I don't know if that was the exact moment it was over, but I talked to them after the race, and they said, they were having some issues. They're playing on a Super NT now. They were on a Super Nintendo for that because that's their system. On a monitor for the first time, a lot of weird setup and stuff. And in the race room, both of our first time here. Soft locked in Snail Clip in East Meridia and lost 2 boss kills.
Oof.
So they got all of their shambles out against me, the person that was never going to beat them. And from there, absolutely, going to town on the rest of them.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're in Turian here. Zeb has to make his way out of East Meridian and then find his way to Turian there at the bottom of West Meridian. But it is going to be once again, another tour de force. This one not the speedy, best time in the tournament here in the 2nd seed, but still, hard seed, and you're gonna barely.
It felt like a very difficult seed.
We've been talking about, we have this, it's a dash randomizer. It's a little bit different, how it works and how things play out from the very randomizer. But I was hearing from someone that think, kind of with, seed speeds and how a little bit of the weird stuff works. The maps in this one are just kind of all over the place, so things can be a little bit worse comparatively because, if there's like a slow map over there, you're going to get all the movement items to be able to do. And if it's a fast map, the map's going to be really cool. Here it's just kind of, here's the map. Go crazy. So things are they can be a little bit funky. Yeah, this was hard. And we're gonna be handing out one of these 2 trophies over here next week here in a few minutes. I think like I said, the anticipation has been building, standing room only. I think you'd have to squeeze into a couple of chairs and be blocked by my very large head to get a view of this right now. We've got some people standing. I assume once the claps come in and everybody's I assume people around here know that this is I think the first event of the first tournament of this event that's going to end we're crowning a champion here. So it's gonna be pretty cool experience here. I'm thinking in a few minutes.
Absolutely, yep. A really great showcase of skill, but just little edges here, little decisions, just going in Audra's favor. Going to pull this tournament out through the most dangerous part here, getting through that Mother Brain Red Beam phase without any issue. Zeb is entering Turian. Going to get through these first few rooms. About 3 minutes and change left for Audra here between now and grasping that tournament championship. A little bit of always the bridesmaid, never the bride for Zeb. Coming into the finals last year, getting a really excellent 3-game set against Kip, just not able to pull it out. Being able to beat Kip 1v1 in competition there in Game 2 of that Chozo seed, falling in Game 3 in his specialty major minor boss area. And unfortunately here, Zeb also cruising through this tournament, really sort of smashing the competition and just you can't say came up against a brick wall. I mean, played pretty well, I think, on the whole.
Like, he said it, you're like, you feel pretty good until you realize how bad that wreck ship is for you. But, like, otherwise, played really good.
Yeah.
Would have got, like, a 55 or something like that. And, like you said, and this one was just hard. And, like, it's a little bit of a beast of a different breed over there. Like, we talk about it. We have a lot of people in our randomizer and a lot of, competing ideologies, how we do things, how we set them up. Audra really, like, not in a class of their own. I'm not going to say they're far and away better than, like, anyone else at the top level, but, really, really just doing their thing.
Yeah, and I mean, at least maybe not overall, but at this tournament on this weekend, the sort of medal has been shown and the die's been cast, and it's in the favor of Audraxys here, who's going to come away with this tournament championship.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna rib them a little bit and ask them how much of a bit of some shambles in some other events caused them to have quite a bit more free time at this tournament than they were expecting to. One of the best players in SMZ3 actually won the event a couple of months ago in the online tournament. Didn't qualify for the in-person tournament here. Talk about hard seats. The qualifier for SMZ3. If anyone hasn't watched that out there in Speedgaming land, find that VOD. It was basically like 24 hours ago on 48 hours ago on this channel. Like 3 hours was 4th place. Like that's how bad it was. And like if you're good at that game, you can get like 2 10s, 2 20s. And it was a 3-hour seed for like good players. It was a mess.
That sounds exhausting.
Yes.
That's why they don't play best of threes over there.
That is very, very much why they don't play best of threes. But here we love the best of threes. We love the hype sets here. Obviously the closeness is a little bit further apart than some of the scene, but the skill on display absolutely pristine. Maybe even elite. What do you think? What do you think, Prof?
Well, we do have 2 of our SM runners that were in this competition. They'll be competing in the finals of the SMZ3 later on, probably tomorrow. And we do have a bronze medal match left between myself and Bressingham. But for now, while you stay tuned for those matches, queue up those GGs into the chat. We're getting ready for a tournament, a presentation of awards for Audra, who crushed the field and takes it 2-0 over Zeb, and there's the look of recognition and the congratulations between the runners. Excellently executed and pulled out for the 2023 Speedgaming Live Championship. Congratulations.
I think it just barely ticked in at a 102 thanks to some steam, but yeah, heck of a seed. According to Masters exit logic. Yeah, both of our runners looked at each other like, what happened to that seed? I don't know. What were we supposed to do? I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Have them sit in the middle. Perfect. Okay, so as we said, this is an event ending. We have Fiesel here. He is going to present our runners before we get started with their medals. So I'm going to hand him this headset, and then we'll get right back to you with some interviews.
Congratulations. Nicely done. Here, please. GG's.
Oh, what in God's name was that?
All right. Well, without further ado, I would like to congratulate the winners of our Speedgaming Live 2023 Super Metroid Randomizer Tournament. First off, I would like to present our second place trophy to Zeb316. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And of course, the winner of the 2023 Super Metroid Randomizer Tournament at Speedgaming Live. Let's give it up for Audraxys.
GG's.
Congratulations.
GG's.
All right, I'm going to throw it back over to the commentators for the interview.
All right, here we are with you live. Congratulations to both of you. Really exciting set there. It came down to maybe one little decision, moments of hesitation. Both of you, you didn't see it the stream yet, but both of you in that first seed got to the back of Wreck Ship. Both of you hesitated. Audra, you even went through the door, waited, hesitated, went back through, waited, hesitated, decided to go back and committed. Zeb did something almost identical, but ended up not going through, and that ended up being one of the deciding factors. The second seed, pretty difficult seed, pretty trollish seed. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on, first of all, that sort of critical decision point. What was going through your head when that back of Wreck decision the decision at Wreck Ship came through in game one?
Okay, the decision to do back of Wreck Ship, it was, it just felt like it was going to be too long to go back through Green Brinstar. I didn't really have a good plan of where I wanted to go if I went back through Green Brinstar, so I chose Wreck Ship. But it was a really difficult decision because it was likely going to be fine, and it was likely going to pay off in majors, I think. I want to say it was like 3 majors or something.
Yeah, and a 75% chance that you have a boss you can defeat, right?
Yeah, but there's that 25%, and going back of Wreck Ship, to find a boss you can't kill is so bad, and especially if the other side is...
If it's like back of LN or something like that and you can't do it.
Or a dead end. I
Yeah.
don't think we had found any dead ends at that point. We had very little map knowledge. It was a tough decision, but I'm just like, I would rather do something where I'm actually like treading new ground right now, I think. That feels like the better thing to do, and, you know, come what may, I'll deal with the consequences after that.
Right, and maybe this is we talked about the philosophical differences, maybe the way the two of you, for example, value early hell runs. Zeb had a sort of, we talked about this off stream, but maybe you can talk about your decision there about sort of avoiding the worst case scenario, I think is sort of how you were weighing that wreck ship decision.
Yeah, so there are two different bad possibilities for wreck ship. The first one is Ridley's there, that's really bad. But there's also a secondary really bad situation where like Torian is at the front. Even if it's a boss you can kill, that still ends up being really bad. If Lore Norfair, we have one end of Lore Norfair left. If that ends up being at the front and various non-wreck ship, then that also ends up being really bad. So I was basically weighing that. I also had left the 2 portals, so I was trying to kind of consolidate that. I think that the portal that was good for Green Bryn was the middle portal and not the bottom portal that I wanted to get back to. So that kind of played into it too, where it's like a little bit closer. So it's not quite as bad to like backtrack through Green Bryn. The elevator still sucks, but like all of that kind of combined into also like I can find the front of wreck ship later and then just go in and out of the front of wreck ship if it's not a dead end. All of that basically combined into me deciding to go back to Red Tower. Yeah, I actually felt pretty good about that first seed, too. I felt a little bit bad about a few different things that I did, but, overall, I felt really solid about how I played that one.
I mean, yeah, you were looking probably around like a 55-minute time. That's really good, obviously. And yeah, I would have, obviously, you two stood up and you're like, what the heck was that seed? And you're like, I don't know. So literally we on Restream, once you had found like the speed in the ice, and we're like, well, what the heck? Because, like, you found the grapple and you go over to a wreck ship, and I'm like, I think this has to be the front of wreck ship, and we'll get something over there because grapple, certainly puts that in logic.
I didn't think the grapple put that into logic
I'm
either.
pretty sure it does. I think it does in Varia, too, actually.
No,
it needs high jump.
It needs high jump in Varia. I could see it being different in Dash because there's not a ton of reason. Like, Varia just kind of blankets defaults to requiring high jump for a lot of that suitless stuff. Whereas the Dash folks might have had a different mentality.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening, but I was mostly treating it as if it was going to be high jump. So I skipped the one major in Upper Nerfair, which was on East Side. I only checked Reserve because I was really dense, and I was like, I don't care too much about this major. I don't want to clear all of UN for it. I only want to clear the dense areas. So I skipped the major. And then when I realized that I didn't have any valid portals to get to, I was just like, okay, so either that major is what I needed, or it's speed in Criteria, and it's the last
the answer's in Waterway.
Green Bryn major at Waterway.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm hoping that high jump is at the, I'm hoping that gravity or whatever is at Waterway. If the answer was Upper Norfair, I don't know if Zeb did that, if skipped it or not. I have no idea, but I have to play it as if he might have, whereas this going for speed thing is a thing he probably didn't do. So yeah, so when I found speed at Old Mother Brain, that was pretty early. I was pretty happy about that. I was not so happy to find ice because that didn't do anything, but then I was just like, okay, maybe the major in Upper Norfair is high jump, and then maybe you're supposed to use it to get gravity at Mama Turtle or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was debating, like when I got grapple there, I was also really surprised, and I was like, I don't know what to do. But I was just like, okay, that opens that East Meridia portal. But there are 3 majors in West Meridia. Like, I really want to skip Mama Turtle because I feel behind, but I think it'd just be insane not to. And, gravity's probably there. Like, if I miss gravity, it's just kind of over, I think, as far as that seed was going. So I chose to do Mama Turtle. It was high jump, and I was like, okay, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm just going to do what's available now.
We didn't understand what was going on in comms either. I'll set
no.
the stage for you, though. It was really interesting. At the exact same moment, you found speed into ice, but you hadn't seen ice yet. You had gone to waterway, and Zeb had found grapple, and we were thinking, oh, Zeb's going to grapple across to the right side of West Meridia and find the front of wrecked ship, and the front of wrecked ship might have the answer. And what happened is neither of those came to fruition. Grapple didn't actually give you what you want because it was the back of wrecked ship, and it's not logical. And speed didn't give you the answer at waterway. And then you found high jump, and we're thinking, well, sir, surely it has to be gravity now, and it wasn't. So we were all scratching our heads. I was trying to phone a friend back here to see if we could figure out what was going on.
You'll have a fun time on the rewatch. I literally take my headset off. I turn around because two dash devs are behind us. And I'm like, do you guys have exit logic? And Koople's like, what's exit logic? And I turn to Matt, and he's like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, I didn't know that. So yeah, so what you did going down to get high jump, that was the expectation.
Yep. But it was really a fascinating moment that both of you found these key items that could have given progression. Neither gave progression, but then, of course, Zeb ended up behind because then you needed to do the speed into what you thought was the answer, which was ice, and then it was just a few minutes behind.
And then bootless dive as well, which I had said you did and wasn't even looking at the time because they were in wreck ship, and we're like, what's going on? And then obviously, gravity kind of falls in your lap. Having high jump is great. The routing, once again, just worked out a little bit better for Audra.
Yeah, I really messed up that early game pretty badly.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because it looked like another moment of hesitation. If we reflect back on the first game and that back of wrecked ship hesitation, there was another moment of hesitation when you found the top of West Meridia for the first time. Audra went down West Meridia and found that portal early. You turned around immediately. I'm curious what you were thinking at that moment when you decided to turn around.
I was really running out of things to find. I felt like it was very, very likely that Upper Norfair was the answer at that point. We had Upper Norfair 1 that was available. We had the portal at Main Street that was also available. And otherwise, it would have to be speed into waterway kind of a thing. So I felt really like the answer was just going to be an Upper Norfair. And I was actually feeling really bad about that because I was like, I cleared the left side first. I knew it was on the right side. I felt really bad because clearing crumble shaft and ice is pretty bad, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
I'm just gonna go get it, whatever.
Well, and then, maybe same question to you then, Audra. When you got to the top of West Meridia, again, that pivotal decision to go through with that.
Do you mean the first time when I ended up going down to Main Street?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I was like, there's a decent chance gravity is at Mama Turtle, but I don't have spring ball to even get back out the hard way. It'd be just I feel like it's way more likely the sea just wants me to funnel down there, and there will be good entrances down there, paths to the rest of the sea, some bosses that can kill, stuff like that. But I think Cutie probably just wins this scene.
I barely mentioned that at the time, but yeah, it was weird.
Well, it'd be curious to see what your reflections are when you go back and watch it, because actually what you ended up doing, because you had that Main Street portal knowledge, that was something that Zeb then, when you came back, you then needed to do that, and that just put you one half step ahead. That the third time you came back to West Meridia, you were able to sort of follow through with that Mama Turtle and exit logic play, whereas Zeb was just that one step behind sort of that whole time, just because of that one decision to turn around. It's a reasonable play, but that's how it ended up crumbling, right?
Yeah, I think that there was a play that was really bad for me early, though. So I was coming back from Green Bryn, and I should have just gone straight to Croc 1. That was the answer. It almost had to be.
Yeah, you
and
ran by it that second
went
time.
Back up to the top of Red Tower to check those portals.
Yeah.
Saw those two portals, and I was like, well, I just kind of wasted this time because I feel like you're probably going to just get those portals naturally.
After doing Croc 1. Yeah, we were curious. We were asking each other after you skipped Croc on the way past it again.
I just should have done Croc there.
Okay.
There wasn't much in the way of portals left. There was maybe the front of wreck ship left that could have potentially been the answer, but I think that Croc 1 was Croc 1 there is way better than Norfair 1. Trying to do Norfair 1 on that energy.
Yeah.
Finding the one item in however many Norfair checks there are compared to finding the one item at Croc.
Probably something close to 20, maybe 18 or something like that. I don't know. It's quite a bit.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, we had a fun time. We get beam route into middle red tower, and it's area is supposed to solve up versus down, and you pick different things right away. It was kind of funny.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
they
really
went up,
funny.
you went down, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so that Croc 1 was just okay, game 1. it felt like, yes, do it, because we're missing Berry. Like, Berry is the main thing we're looking for. It's probably not here, but there's 2 E-tanks. That helps if you are not getting Berry. So, that was an easy decision. This one was a very hard decision.
Yeah, you waffled on that
I really
too.
didn't want to do it, but I was just like, I kind of have to. Like, I don't have anything. Like, it's...
Yep.
It was, like, ridiculous.
Well, I mean, those hesitations were there for both of you. We saw you'll go back and watch it. There was those visible shaking of Samus back and forth, even with multiple door transitions. It ended up working out in both cases for you, and in multiple cases, we've noted. I've been on commentary now for a couple of your matches. Your execution has been excellent. Your decision making and your instincts have been spot on, and you're holding the first place trophy because of that. So congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
It was a crazy series, like I said. And both of you came in here just guns a-blazing. It was no losses through to the finals for you. But yeah, it was nice. And yeah, I mean, Zeb, like we said, obviously in the first race, like you probably find wreck ship conveniently 80% of the time, and you just did in that one. And this one, yeah. Who knows how, I mean, you said, Cutie wins this if you just go to Mama Turtle. You also, you ended up making the high jump with lava dive play. That was also probably available for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was
it's hard. It's really
I was
hard.
really thinking about doing it the first time I saw it. But I didn't know the back of Lorne Warfare.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it wasn't Torian. And I was like really worried about that, so I felt like I couldn't make that play at the time.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, me too. I would think I was on 2 E-tanks at the time, but it was something that I was kicking myself later for not remembering to go back to as a better solution than the ridiculous chain. So I was, and when I saw where gravity was, I was just like, Zeb might have been in a better position to just do this and get gravity for free and not have had any issues. The main thing is like, I knew that my advantages, if Zeb did that, was like I have speed, I have ice, I have high jump. He might not have any of those, and that might let me catch up.
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking. Like I was thinking because I felt horrible about the way I routed, so I felt like I was pretty much lost in that second one. My one hope was that maybe you found the gravity and you were like stuck on suit with CF clip or something.
Yeah, I was. That's really funny. I completely relaxed in the last 15 minutes of that because I was just like, I feel like I'm probably done for, and I'm just gonna mentally prepare for Game 3 while I play out the rest of this.
Yeah, this was a fantastic event. Like I said, both of you, congratulations on a job well done. It's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun for me, and I think for everyone here. Getting together as a community, meeting a lot of people for the first time in person. This is. I think it might be a little bit before we get back into the rando tournaments again. So obviously, I know both of you especially love the tournaments, love the action. So hopefully we can get back together soon on the tournament side. But yeah, I'm happy that I got to witness this. It was a blast to call. It's been a blast to meet both of you. Watch you race, put on a great show. So thank you for that, and again, congratulations. I think I've said enough words. So.
All right, well, a couple points of order here. We're going to wrap things up here. We do have a palate cleanser match tomorrow, if we're going to call it that. Bressingham and I are racing for third place tomorrow, so we have just a little bit more Super Metroid speedrunning action to wind us down here. In the meantime, I'll turn it over. If you two have anything else that you want to say, I'm going to close it out. We do have Kip is going to come on as an admin and is going to say a couple things once we all clear out of here and shuffle on. Big congratulations once again to all of our runners. A big thanks to all of our runners for coming through and all the people who helped put this on. I think Kip's going to say a bunch of that, so I'm not going to steal his thunder. But it was excellent to call the matches. It was an exciting 2-game set. It was very complicated. I think these are some good ones to study if you want to learn something about difficult Super Metroid Randomizer. So congrats. Any last thoughts from our champion and runner-up, and then we'll turn it over to Kip to close us down.
I'm really happy to finally be able to come to one of these, and things in my life finally kind of lined up so that could happen. And it's been really fun meeting people that I see online and seeing a lot of my friends for the first time, and meeting people from other communities. I joined 4 tournaments when I came here, and I kind of messed up real bad in all the other events, but I got to play those other games and meet a lot of cool people from those communities just from playing that. So it's just been really nice, and everyone I hung out with has made this a great experience for me. I was gonna try not to set too much store into winning because, like, it's a different environment. It's a new stage. It's a lot of pressure. You're trying to be social at the same time. And honestly, also huge thanks to Speedgaming staff and all the volunteers, all the proctors, because it's like when you're in person and you see the work that they have to do to make this run, it's a lot more obvious, like the work side of it, the human side of it, than it is when they're like setting up your races online and all that. So yeah, thanks everyone.
All right. Well, I won't say.
Whoa. Zeb, do you have any words as well?
Go ahead, Zeb, please.
No. You go ahead. No. Well, I just wanted to say I also have had a whole ton of fun. This event, I look forward to it every year. It's one of the highlights of my year. Just meeting all these Super Metroid people, hanging out, being able to talk about Super Metroid in person. When it's such a niche hobby, like something that like you can't talk to some random person about this like ever. So
Well, you could.
yeah, you could, I guess.
How do you feel about Area Randomizer and Super Metroid?
But you would be that guy
Yeah.
in the restaurant.
But yeah, it's just like really great to be able to meet everyone. Just be able to like be like, hey, you want to race, and just like sit down next to each other and just kind of play a seed or whatever. Be able to talk in person. Yeah. Also want to say just GG Audra. I think sounds like you played those really well. I think that you definitely. I think you definitely outplayed me in that second one at the very least. First one I think was like different decisions more so. Second one was just I think you probably played that better. So.
I had honestly I had really shoddy execution in the first one because I meant to take a nap earlier and I was completely unsuccessful at that. And I meant to eat something and I forgot. So I went and I did that during the break between first two games, and it helps me a lot. But I was like really, I think I made really good decisions that first game. The gameplay itself was not great, and I wasn't happy about it. And and the seed was kind of a mess. My semis earlier with Breast was like a lot cleaner on my end, and honestly, I think on his end as well, like compared to like how this past seed went for you. So,
One day I will have bad execution and get a 52.
what was that? I didn't hear that.
I said one day I will have bad execution and get a 52.
All right, folks. Well, there we go. I think we'll pass it over to Kip. I will say we could say see you next mission. We could say see you next year. But for now, I'll actually say come see us in the Discord. Come over to the Super Metroid Randomizer, the Dash Discord, the main Discord. It's a great community. There's a lot of cool folks. You heard the runners here say it themselves. It's great to be in person, but we also have our Discord to keep us going in between events, so please come on all over. And with that, I think we'll pass it over to our attorney admin. Kip Stratus is going to come over. He's going to give us a little bit of a rundown of what's to come next and how we're going to shut this one down. Kip, take it away.
Thank you, Prof. Once again, my name is Kip. I'm one of the primary organizers of this tournament. I have a few people to thank. We will have a restream tomorrow, or I guess a stream for our bronze match tomorrow, which I'm excited about. But first and foremost, Audra, congratulations on a well-fought victory. Zeb, congratulations on second place. Really fun to watch you guys play. A few things. Number one, I want to say a big, huge thank you to Feasel and the entire staff of SG. There are a lot of people here who've been really kind to us and helped us out with a lot of things. Rick, Sinak, Miss Metroid, Clifford, Herf. There's a bunch more I could name, but everybody's been very hospitable. The event has been awesome. The Super Metroid people have really enjoyed being together, as everybody up here has been talking about. I want to give a quick special shout-out, and I'm pulling it up to make sure I don't miss anybody. The Dash Dev team has worked. I can't tell you how many hours the people have put into a lot of the stuff for our randomizer. So I really want to say thank you to, first and foremost, Mass Hysteria, one of my best friends. Countless hours he's gone into coding and doing other things. Derp, Papa Schmo. Pops was supposed to be here with us, but unfortunately something happened. He couldn't make it at the last minute. Pops, we hope you and everybody in your home are doing well. Rumblemans, Cassidy, Moen, and Kupo. Kupo is already also here. I want to give a special shout-out to everybody that calmed and tracked for us. In particular, Jestro, he will never put himself on screen. He's right over here, but Jestro has tracked tons and tons of races for us, not only here live, but also in a bunch of our other tournaments. So just as in general, I want to echo what everybody else has said. Really, really special event for us to come to every year, to get to see each other and hang out. Some good camaraderie, some good competition, and hopefully we'll do it even bigger up next year. So with that being said, I'll toss it back over to DJ. DJ, you want to send us out here?
I can do that, yeah. Once again, thank you to everybody for, the help putting on. We have, a row of computers, people who are, counting us down. They're, adjusting our microphone levels. They're doing all the things, it's behind the scenes a little bit less for us because we, the curtains have been pulled back. But yeah, if you see them in the chat or, in the SG Discord, if you're in there, give them a thanks. This event, it has to take a lot of work. We've got 50-some monitors, a bunch of rooms you got to set up, you got to tear down, chairs, internet, all that stuff. So yeah, it's great. And yeah, to everyone in the SM community, I had a blast in this event. The constellation bracket might be a little bit long running, but we're still, we're still playing and having a ton of fun. And yeah, these two runners as well as the other 12, including the two of us who maybe didn't do as well. Well, I did about as well as I expected.
You're still alive. I'm not.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We thank everybody out there in chat for watching. I had chat pulled up on my computer and I maybe looked at you a few times, but you all were having a ton of fun. It's always good, see the good chat interaction. Friends of ours who are online who are still watching, we thank you. And yeah, we'll be back in the morning for the bronze match. And yeah, until then, we'll see you next mission.